Oh, boy. Man. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? Do I need to plug this thing in? Good morning. All right. I'm going to talk about the Arbery case, the Arbery case. His name is Ahmaud Arbery. I want to talk about this. Can you guys can hear me good? Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Okay, so I want to talk about this, the Arbery case and the McMichael case that's coming up. That was the murder that was committed 2 months ago. And now we are just getting up in arms about it. And here's my thing. I got a thing. Here's my thing. Here's my take on it. I heard people talk about how the McMichaels might go free because Ahmaud Arbery was in a house. He walked into an open house. He didn't break into it, and there was construction being done at the house. And he walked in. He looked around, and a neighbor said something to him, and he ran out the house. And when he ran out the house, the McMichaels were alerted, and they went and rode after him. And when they caught up to him, you can see where Ahmaud Arbery, there was a confrontation, and Ahmaud Arbery attacked him. So the stand your ground law is in effect. The open carry law, they're allowed to carry guns in Georgia. So that's in effect. It was clear that Ahmaud Arbery, circled around and attacked Mr. McMichaels, the father. But what isn't clear, here's what isn't clear. Here's what we don't see. Okay, so we know that there was a 911 call also, but here's what we didn't see. We saw the neighbor videotaping when Ahmaud Arbery came, circled around, and tried to grab the gun. But we didn't see where the McMichaels pulled up to Ahmaud Arbery while he was running down the street. He wasn't a jogger. He wasn't just jogging down the street. He was getting away from what he thought was him being in trouble. You know what I'm saying? He walked into it, and I'm gonna tell you something. If you have, this house wasn't abandoned, but there was nobody living there, and it was under construction. So let's start with this. What did he steal? What did he take? Yeah. What did he take? Because they're trying to say that he stole something. And I'm like, what did he take? Because they're trying to say that they were attempting a citizen's arrest. But what was the crime? Was it trespassing? think he took anything. They have him on camera. He's walking down the street. Now let's get this understood. He lives in this area. He lives here. This is not somebody coming from another area into this area, and he often jogs in this area. This kid jogs in this area, so he's seen before. He doesn't have any weapons. He doesn't have a bag. He doesn't have anything. Look, his cargo. What's he gonna put in his cargo pants? What did he put in his cargo shorts? That was on a house being constructed. Did he stick a window in his pocket? You have him on camera, clearly taking nothing. He was looking around, and I'm gonna tell you something. As a young person, young people do this, especially nowadays. They'll walk in they'll be like, "Oh, what's going on here?" You know what I'm saying? There's nothing being built. This kid wasn't stealing anything. He doesn't have a record for stealing. He lives in an area. He sees a house being built, and he walked into the house. And listen, there was no door. He didn't open the door and break into place. There's no door. This is a place being constructed. And he walks in and he looks around. And it's him looking around. And that's exactly what he did. And then when the neighbor saw him and yelled at him, he took off running because he's like, "Oh, I did something wrong. Well, let me go back to doing what I used to usually do, which is jogging." His mother said he often jogs in this area because he lives here. And I'm gonna tell you something. I used to be a runner, and especially at 24, 25 years old, I ran everywhere. I was like Forrest Gump. I ran everywhere. So I completely understand this. I ran in neighborhoods that weren't mine, especially a nice neighborhood like that on a nice day. But I ran all the time, even in the winter. But I completely get this kid, looking and being like, "Oh, okay, they're building something here." Because I like that type of stuff. I like to see things being built. I like to see construction from the ground up. I do. So I'm completely on his side on that matter. I would have went and looked too. This is an open door, building a house. I would have looked too. I'm sorry, I would have. I wouldn't have thought that there would have been something wrong. Now, if there was a door on it, that's different. But this house it's not even constructed all the way. I'm gonna read your comment for a minute. That's what I'm saying. What could he have took? There are raw materials in the house. He don't have a vehicle to take nothing. It's not. What's he taking? There was a hammer seen on a road, but I'm not sure. Why would he take the hammer? Well, he does have a record for stealing a TV. Oh, okay, boom. Thank you for correcting me. So he has a record for stealing a TV. Where did he steal the TV from? Because I don't know. This is a legitimate question. Where did he steal the TV from? And, okay, so he has a record for stealing TV. So let me ask you this. Did he break into somebody's house and steal the TV? Did he? Because if he broke in, listen, if this guy was breaking into people's houses, I hate that this man does. I do too. I'm not sure where he stole the TV from, was on probation when he did it. Okay, I think it was from a store. All right. So the McMichaels claimed that there were break-ins in the area. So they said that there were people breaking into homes in this area. This guy was not breaking into a home. This wasn't a break-in. He walked in a door that wasn't even there. He didn't break in. He walked in. And I'm just telling you, listen, I know people who love to look into houses. They'll climb in a window and won't take nothing because they like houses. They like looking at how houses are built. So I'm just telling you, I know people who do this. I like, look, when I see something being constructed, I want to go in and see how they laid the foundations. I just do. But I'm older, so I know better not to go in there. I just do. I'm just like, nah, because somebody's going to come out and, something like this will happen. But nonetheless, I've often looked at homes thank you. You know why you like looking at homes under construction? Because, the home that you're in, you're just like, okay, this is already built, but how did they do that? How did they put up this wall? Some of these homes where I live, they had a company called MI Homes. And I think they're out of business now or changed the name. But what they were doing, they were putting up homes in like less than, 2-3 days. And they would hire, and I'm telling you what they did. They would hire a Mexican crew and put up, and these Mexicans would put this dang house up in no time. I just always loved the process. That's what I'm saying. So I completely agree with walking in an unfinished home, and that's on the side. I just do. But like I said, this kid lives in this area. So, you're building a house here. He's 25 years old. This is not a 16-year-old. I mean, who knows what he was thinking. But he took nothing. You found nothing on him. So you wanted to make a citizen's arrest. Let's get to this part. You see this kid. You tell him to get away from the house. We don't even know if the McMichaels owned the house. I don't think that they did. So they're like, okay, 911, some kids break in the house. Let me tell you something. If the police would have rolled up, because you saw 2 cop cars speeding past, if the police would have found Ahmaud Arbery in that house, do you think they would have arrested him for trespassing? No. They would have asked him, what's he doing here? And if he would have had a legitimate answer, I was just curious. I was just looking around. They would have got his name, yada, 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 checked him to see if he had anything, and sent him on his way. Because he didn't commit a crime. Now, if they got him for trespassing, that's a misdemeanor. Right? There would have been no arrest. So you see this kid running, and now you want to make a citizen's arrest. And the thing is, the McMichaels, the father was a cop. Okay, so now you want to make a citizen's arrest on what crime exactly? Trespassing? You don't own the house. You might know the people who do own the house, or the company that's building on the house, but this is not your home. And even if he stopped and was just like, "What are you talking about? I don't have nothing on me." And then what the process is supposed to be, you're not supposed to go and wrestle this person down. He's jogging down the street. You know what I'm saying? He's just running down the street, and we don't see the part where the McMichaels actually roll up on him. Okay, one of them, the son, is in the cab of the doggone truck, and the father is already out with a gun in his hand. This is in Georgia. Okay, let's get this straight. The son got a gun in his hands. He's got a pistol in his hand. I mean, it is clear to Ahmaud Arbery that they did not come to talk. Okay? The father is already standing there with the rifle in his hand. Listen, do you think the father was just like, look, you need to come with us? Not to mention you're not a cop. I don't need to come with you nowhere. Do you think the father had kind words for Ahmaud Arbery? I don't think so. I don't think they had kind words. I think they had bad intentions from the very beginning. When they start looking for this kid and riding him down like we're back in, 100, 200 years ago, this is what they did, start riding people down. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what they did. They had every intention on committing a crime. This is to me. I don't think they had intentions on bringing this kid in. On what authority? Citizens arrest? No. All you had to do was call the police and follow him. That's it. It's not your job to get out to whip out the Mossberg or the Smith and Wesson, and you know what I'm saying. No kinds words. I don't think they plan to kill him. They would have shot him before he got to their truck. In the fairness, Arbery, no, 100%. I agree with you. When I saw that kid circle around and attacked him, I was like, he was wrong for that. But what we don't know is what was said, and we don't know how long they've been following him and what they were saying. See, all right. So let's think about this. You're running down the street. You're already scared because the neighbor done hollered at you, said something to you, not to mention, you're being followed. Okay? You're being followed by not one car, but two. Okay? You're fully aware. You're running 7 miles an hour. There's two cars following you, and two people in it are saying things to you, and they have guns. You're aware of this. You're fully aware of this. Okay? Because you were on one side of the street. They were on the other side of the street, which means you could see the driver and you could see the person in the back of the cab. You can see both of these men, and you're jogging down the street and they're parallel with you. You already know this has happened. You already know that they went ahead of him, stopped the car, and he kept running, and then he ran around this way. You already know there was a conversation where you're jogging and they're riding. We know this has happened. We don't think that they did one of these numbers, then got out the car. No, we know that they did one of these numbers. Something was being said. Boom. They pull ahead, get out the car. He's still running, and then he turns and circles around. Why would he go around to the other side? To avoid Mr. McMichael on the side that he was running. He was blocked off. Where was he going to go? You have guns and a vehicle. He was already blocked off. Where was he going? He's running on this side. You pull up on this side. You pull ahead of him. You stop. Boom. You're in a vehicle. You get out the car. We already see him out the car. We see McMichael's out the car already. So there's a whole bunch of information that we don't even know. We see this kid running, and McMichael's is out of the car already with gun in hand. What do you think is going to happen? As far as you saying, I don't, or anyone saying, I don't think that they meant to shoot him, how could you even, it's just like, with a situation like this, I see two weapons. I'm not, oh, they don't mean to shoot me. This is an area that I run in all the time, not to mention I'm scared. I just trespassed or whatever. I just had the neighbors called on me. I'm scared. And two people roll up on me with guns. I don't think they're here to talk. I don't think they're here to have a lengthy conversation. And they're not the police. No. Don't forget, this kid ran scared out of the house. He was running. He wasn't jogging when he ran out that house. He was jogging when the McMichaels caught up to him. So he was scared because somebody had said something to him to get out of that house. He's running. Now, if he was stealing something, why would he be running on the road? I mean, let's just think about this. If he was running because he was guilty, somebody already said something to him, why would he be running broad daylight on the road? I wouldn't have. I would have hit a backyard. You don't see thieves running on the road, broad daylight, jogging. You don't. They will take cover. They'll find somewhere so they can't be seen. It's exactly what they'll do. But this kid was a runner. We know this is what he did. He obviously doesn't have anything in his hands. He's running. I'm just saying, when the McMichaels pulled up to him, he was afraid. And I think that's why he attacked him. Remember, one of them's already got a gun in his hand in the back of the cab. The other one is already standing out in front of the truck when you run up to them. He's already afraid. He's like, okay, it's going down. It's going down bad. And he's like, all right, well, if I can just get my hands on this gun, if I can get the gun away from him, then there's that. So then you get into the stand your ground law. Now, the stand your ground law, I completely understand that. For one, the gun law, you're allowed to, have an open carry. The McMichaels weren't wrong for having an open carry. However, if you're standing there, with a gun and you chase this person, we know you chase this person, and you're standing there with the gun. Look, I'm not going to think that you're about to talk to me and there's going to be kind words. I'm going to be in fight or flight mode. And flight is not even possible because there's two of you with guns and a vehicle. I'm not going anywhere. It's not going to happen. I can't run from you. You look at the area they were in, he would have been gunned down instantly. There's nowhere he could run. So what did he do? He fought. And that's just that. I can't run. I know you guys been following me. I don't know. We don't know the words that were exchanged, but we know that kid was scared and he attacked them. And that's what happened. I'm gonna read your comment. Don't you think they might be more? Unfortunately, no, not unless there's videos from the houses. Here's another thing. Arbery knew McMichael. McMichael knew Arbery. He investigated him when he stole the TV. So I'm thinking he got scared. Yep, which is why, he was afraid. Yeah, he was afraid. Not to mention this guy's a cop, so you're a police officer, so you already have entitlement. You already think that you can do something and not be punished for it because police are killing black men. Look, they shot that guy at Walmart because he had a baseball bat. There's 3 cops. One guy with the baseball bat. You shot him, tased him, and then shot him again while he was down. That's just murder. 3 of you can't handle one man with a baseball bat? Why are you even a police officer? Why? You can't handle a man with a baseball bat. 3. And you got weapons. You can't take out your, boom, stun the man, which is what they did. That's what the stun gun's for. Boom, or taser gun. Boom, you tasered him, then you shot him. Nah, that's murder. It's a fight. It's a fight or fight for, it's flight or fight. Yeah, that's what it is. Maybe that was the mindset. No, that you could tell. Look, when you see Arbery attack McMichael, you already see him. He didn't swing at McMichael. He went straight for his weapon. Modus operandi was, if I can get a hold of this weapon and get it away from him, I'll be okay. It was simply a fight. That was it. He wasn't even trying to harm McMichael. He was trying to get a hold of that weapon. But like I said, he had nowhere else to go. He's in wide open. He's probably tired. He's already been running. Where's he going to go? These two, and like you're saying, these two know each other. I mean, it's just, but you still do not have the right to kill this man. You don't. There's 2 of you. There's 1 of him. And you guys can't take this man down. No, I'm not having it. I agree with you. I think he was afraid. He was. And he was pitting his strength and his endurance against somebody who's clearly not been jogging in, 30 years. But he was outnumbered, he was outgunned, and the only thing he could do, his only reasonability is, I can't outrun him. Not gonna go anywhere. They've been chasing me. This guy's been standing out in front of me with a gun. I can't go anywhere. Only thing I can do is try to get the gun out of his hand, but he didn't know the son had a weapon too. I mean, and if he knew him, he knew he was a former police officer. This was a no-win situation for Arbery. Even if he would have stopped, if he would have stopped running and just stood there, I think he still would have had physical harm done to him. I just do. They rode him down like, we're back in the freaking 50s and 60s. This is why this is such a heinous crime, and it looks like a hate crime is what it looks like. And I'm telling you, I'm just telling you now, you can't, listen, if they let these people free, okay, so if they go through the law, whip out all the laws, stand your ground law, McMichael's in the right. Open carry, McMichael's in the right. Arbery, he has a record. Okay, so they start looking to see what his record was for. He stole TV before out of wherever. Okay, this man has a record for stealing a TV. Okay, everything is going to McMichael's way. Everything is going to McMichael's way. Now, if they look at this and the jury goes, okay, they weren't arrested for 2 months until this video comes out, and then this outcry comes out. Police didn't even arrest them. So if they look at this and they let them go, they don't even give them manslaughter. They let them go. They're like, they're free. They did exactly what they were supposed to do. God bless America. Let me tell you something. There will be retaliation. There will be. There will be a strong retaliatory response. There will be, and that's just it, and that's all. Because of the way it looks, you got to understand, not everybody cares about the law. What they see is a black man being gunned down in broad daylight in the middle of the street by 2 white citizens. That's it. They see an unarmed young man in the prime of his life shot dead. That's what they see. And you damn well better believe that somebody is going to come out and that's all they're going to think about. We don't care about what your law says. We don't. What we care about is getting revenge. And that's exactly what's going to happen. So the court system has to look at all of that. They have to look at the law. They say who was right and who was wrong, which is completely understandable. This is what they should do. They shouldn't have never waited 2 months to get these guys in the court. The court system should have been all over it. They had prosecutors on it, and then another prosecutor jumps on. No, they should have prosecuted them. This process should have happened the day it happened. They should have took those boys in and been like, okay, a murder did happen. Let's look at what degree of the murder is. Is it manslaughter? Is it second degree? Or is it first degree? Now, mind you, they charged them with murder and they charged them with assault. Okay? So you have to look, they're trying to make it stick is what it is. So I don't think that they're going to go away with just a slap on the hand just simply because of the outcry. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen is they're going to get manslaughter, which it is manslaughter. Okay? You killed that man. All right? You pulled the trigger and you killed that man. You did not have to pull the trigger. You can claim self-defense all you want, but for one, he was outnumbered. All right? That's just that. He was outnumbered and he was outgunned. So you're just looking at it, it was just uneven from the beginning. For two, why didn't you just call the police? He's jogging down the street. Broad daylight. This is not in the middle of the night. This is broad daylight. He's jogging. You've seen him before, you kid. Why didn't you call the police? What is your motivation for getting out with a gun in hand, you and your son, and harassing this kid? Saying anything to him. The only smart one was the person in the back who was video cameraing it. And that's what you should have done. Follow him, video camera, say what happened, call the police, and the police were already en route. They were already in that area because they're on camera. And say, this is the road that I'm on. This is the kid right here. This is what happened. Enough, and this whole thing would have been done with. There would have been no arrest because he committed no crime, and that would have been it. But you do not have the right to say anything to this kid in any aggressive way because he committed no crime, especially no crime against you. I'm going to read some of your comments. Here's another thing. Okay, I read that. Fight or flight. I think the first shot that went off have been from when Arbery grabbed the barrel of a shotgun and pulled it towards him, but Travis shot to right. I can agree with that. I can kind of agree with that because, for one, I'm not a forensic scientist, but we're just saying, we're speculating. But I think once he grabbed that barrel, I think McMichael had every intent to kill him. I think we may see riots like never seen. Oh, it's going to go down, baby. It's going to go down. Well, do you think both will get manslaughter? No. I think the father is the one who shot him, right? I think he's going to get manslaughter probably maybe 10 years. It's going to be like the Amber Geiger thing. She got 10 years, but 5 of it, after probation. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to satiate the people. I'm going to speak on that in a minute. Chateau, salute to you in the top of the morning. Thank you very much. McMichael is affiliate with the hate group. Oh, see? And there are photos to prove it. This was premeditated. Okay, well, that changes everything. Thank you very much, Polo. And plus, he was broke, so he wasn't about... Oh, man, that changes everything. Hey, people, I spent 3 days searching this case. I have all the answers. Just asking me. Yeah, we want the answers. Because I don't have all the answers. Last night, I saw the collection of surveillance clips gathered on Arbery and a visit to the construction house. Right. Whose house was it? Let's start there. Had he wanted to get away, he runs through he runs through the yards. He decided to wage war. He wasn't going to jail. He decided to kill them both instead. I'm not agreeing with that. It doesn't look like he had intent to kill. That will change the case. Oh, the son shot him. Oh, okay. So thank you very much. The dad was in the back. Okay, the son shot him. So the son, I think, the person who shot him, I think, is going to get the most time. And the other person's going to be an accessory. But I'm not a lawyer. McMichael isn't associated with a hate group. Photos are fake. He had a solid career in law enforcement. Well, okay. Let's just get this out right now. All right, let's just do this right now. As far as the hate group and all that is going to concern, that's going to really come out if McMichaels is in a hate group. And him being a police officer does not exclude him from being in a hate group. We all know this. All right. We would think the complete opposite. So let's just get that out there right now. English, no evidence he ran through yards. He didn't run through yards. Yeah. Like I said, if you were stealing something and or trying to get away from someone, you're going to run through yards. There's plenty of yards right there. Why did this kid, listen, when he went into the house, just looks a lot of people in the KKK, easy to find people that look like him. Okay, that's understandable. But like I said, it'll come out. Because saying that he was a cop doesn't exclude him whatsoever. And we know that these two knew each other because of Arbery stealing a TV. And McMichaels was, I think, the arresting officer, or however that goes, or the investigating officer. So who's going to get what? Yeah, if the son shot him, the son is the one who's going to be punished the most. But you guys were saying, one person was saying that being that he was in fight or flight mode, it looked like he had intent to kill. I'm going to tell you something. For one, when you look at this kid, when you look at this kid, look at the video when this kid is on this side of the street. For one, he went from this side of the street to this side of the street, which means he was trying to avoid them. It's what you do. I can see myself jogging down the street, somebody harassing me, and I know you have a weapon. I'm trying to, do the whole thing behind the truck. He went to the other side of the street, okay? They pulled ahead of him. They stopped, got out, because he was still running, and then he ran up to them. He hit the other side of the street because he saw the gun. And he couldn't go anywhere. And so dude has a gun like this, and he's on this side of the street. Then he circles. Now, when he closed the gap, now just think about this. Just think about this. You're standing there with a gun. The person you're talking to is in motion. Runs around the truck, comes into your view and comes ahead of you and closes the gap between, look at the distance. He closed the gap. He came around the truck, right? And he comes and he closes the gap to you before you can get your gun up and shoot him. This kid was obviously quick. This kid is fast. All right. So when he closes the gap to get to you, he doesn't hit you. The first thing he does is go for the gun. Now, you may talk to some experts. Sorry, my nose is running, guys. You may talk to some martial arts experts. You're going to talk to some combat experts. Heck, you may talk to some ex-military people like myself. You know what I'm saying? And what do they teach you in hand-to-hand combat or hand-to-gun combat? And I'm telling you that I would have done the same thing. I would have went for the gun. Especially having that ability. This is me 25 years ago. You got to understand, this kid's 24, 25 years old. He's quick. Okay, he closed that gap between coming around that truck to get to McMichaels just like that. He was on him. Now, just when you look at that and you look at the talent that this kid had, the speed that he could have easily punched. Was it Travis? He could have easily punched him. He could have easily crack. And that's that. We see people with weapons all the time get punched, and they think that they have the upper hand and they go to swing a knife or whatever, pow, they get knocked out. We've seen it all the time. So I'm saying, I just don't think that this kid his aggression was to harm the McMichaels. I don't believe that at all. I think his emotion in his fright was simply, how can I survive this encounter because I can't get away. That's all I could think of. I can't go anywhere. How can I survive? There's apparently 2 people with guns been following me. Obviously, they think I did something wrong. I know this guy is an ex-cop because I know this guy. I'm just saying. He went into fight or flight mode, and all he could think of was, how can I survive this? That's just that. I'll read some of your comments. Turn this up a little bit so I can see it. Well, I just don't think he was there to kill it. I don't think that Arbery wanted to kill the cop. I don't think he had a ghost of a chance of killing those cops. I can't see that. I could see him trying to disarm them though. Okay, recently, about 3 weeks ago, I have a video up on it too. I was attacked by 2 guys and one of them pulled a knife on me. One of them pulled a knife. So basically, I got sucker punched because I didn't know it was going to be a fight situation. I got hit by one. I got blindsided by one guy, and when I got hit, I went into fight mode. Okay, first I was in the conversation mode, but I got hit. Then I went into fight mode, and when I went into fight mode, I came around the vehicle, and there was the person who hit me here came this way around the vehicle, and his friend came this way around the vehicle, and we all met in the street. And when we met in the street, I turned it and put my hands up and was like, all right, let's fight. Let's get it on. I had peripheral view of both of them. I am now in fight mode. Now, when they approached me, this one did not have a weapon, but this one did. And he had the weapon down like this. He was like, you about to get stabbed, bro. And when he came at me, I was just like, oh, you got a knife? Like, I mean, I'm not going to fight you with a knife. You know what I'm saying? You got a knife in your, like, I'm not about to get stabbed up over $100 refrigerator, you know? And then they both took off running. But nonetheless, they had the upper hand on me. They had the upper hand. Now, I'm in fight or flight mode until I see now, of course, I would have, I wouldn't have let the guy stab me. I would have tried to get away. But they're faster than me. So if this guy would have kept approaching me with the knife, I wouldn't have even cared about the guy without one. My modus operandi would have been what? Get the knife. I wouldn't have got worried about getting hit because I already got hit. I wouldn't have worried about getting kicked. I would have been worried about one thing that can do the most damage. Get the knife from this guy. And that's it. And that's what I'm telling you. That was this guy's modus operandi. It wasn't, I'm about to win this fight. Because, even though I'm bigger than both of those guys, I didn't care about winning. My whole thing was, this guy's got a knife. This knife can do more damage than their fist can. So I was watching and talking to the guy with the knife. I was like, all right, well, you got a knife. There's, what's going to go down? I didn't turn and run. I just kept my eyes on him. Because if he would attack me, I either got 2 things I can do. I'm 52 years old. I got asthma. I'm not running anywhere anytime soon. All right. I'm just not. These 2 guys are maybe in their 30s, young 30s. Okay, they're faster than me, obviously. Whatever. My only the advantage is I'm 6'2", 280. I'm not a small person. All right, these 2 lightweights, I could have threw them around like nothing. But you have a knife. Arbery had an advantage of speed, and he had an advantage of youth. He used that advantage to get to the gun. He was thinking of surviving. You have a gun. It's not a pistol. Boom, I'm going after the gun. And I think and then a wrestle for the gun where he got shot. But I think it was overkill because they shot him more than once, and they didn't have to shoot him at all. They didn't have to. For one, they didn't have to have contact with him whatsoever. That's not their job. It's not their job. The police were already in the area. You already made a phone call to the cops. Once the cops were alerted, your job, if you're going to make a citizen's arrest, is to follow them at length. Give a description, and that's it. Your job is not to hop out the car with 2 guns and start beefing with this kid. That is not your job as a citizen. Not whatsoever. If they are in your house, this is not your house, but if he was in your home and he was a threat to you, then I absolutely understand you arming yourself and getting ready to do this guy. 100%. And if he attacks you, you shoot and kill him. I'm with you 100%. I'm still not liking the whole killing thing, but, bust his leg, he ain't going nowhere. But that wasn't the case. You already called the cops. Why are you following this man and then jumping out the car with a gun? It was just unnecessary, and I believe it's murder. To me, it's murder one. To me, it's murder one. You had every intention on doing something to this kid. You don't hop out the car with the gun in hand and think that the other person is going to believe that you're there just to have a conversation. No, you listen. If a cop stops you and tells you to get out the car, and you guys are talking, and then the cop goes for his gun, do you think that the cop's not trying to shoot you? Do you think automatically, oh, he just pulled his gun for nothing? No. If somebody approaches you and they have a gun in hand and there's already words exchanged, it's on. That's it. I'll read some of your comments. Yeah, point blank. The first shot went through his palm. Dang. He used the truck. Right. But the kid was being tactical. He could have run 3 yards. That's how you survive. He wouldn't have never survived that. He wouldn't have survived that. He was 100 yards away from the truck, and the exit and highway were behind him. He was running towards a dead end along Holmes Road. Wow. I know I was asking you what happened with that tone, with the fight. Okay, well, I didn't explain in total detail what happened with the fight. I will if you guys want to know what happened with the fight. Tone, you was in a military mode that day. Yeah, absolutely. They were skinny as hell. Yeah, and there was another one. There was a female. There were 2 females. And then another guy came outside when the police were there, and he was like, "Yo, you want to fight? Let's go. I'll take that work." And I was like, "Oh, let's go then." So I wasn't upset that I got hit. I didn't even feel it. Well, I was upset that I got hit, but I wasn't angry. I wasn't even angry that whole time. I was upset that you drew a knife on me, because that took it to a whole nother level. That's what I was upset. Listen, I wanted to get punched. I was like, "Oh, we about to go there? Let's go." I was happy. I was like, "Oh, I got so much frustration. I can just beat you guys up." And yeah, hit me. Come on, let's get it. I was like, hit me again. Let's go. When I circled around in the street and stopped, they stopped cold. I mean, they stopped cold. Even with coming at me with the knife, when I stopped, they stopped. It's like, "Oh, no, we're not going to do this." And they were, "Look how big this guy is." I was like, okay. That explains, that explains his reaction. Yeah. I'm looking at all the facts. I think Aubrey might have had mental issues. Well, if you're stealing TVs, you got mental issues. They look like they was on the dress. Well, they're going to be, those guys, the guys that I got into it with, they were a couple scammers. and why he wander around. He didn't like to wander around. Had already talked about going in and out of construction. I like to look at homes being constructed, and I'm not alone on that. It's just something that you like to do. You like to smell the wood. You like to see how people are laying down the tile and how people are measuring the foundation. People who built their house from the ground up. Like, I know people who've done this, so I like that type of stuff. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about building something. I don't know what, but I'm thinking about building something. Please, we're 180 seconds away. That's what I'm saying. This is murder. This is murder. Listen, I'm almost to the point where I don't really care about the open gun law. I don't care about that. Listen, if I'm somebody listening to this case and they want a jury of peers, and I'm in that room, and they talking about, well, they did have the right to open carry, I go, okay, yeah, they did. They had all right. And he did attack him. I'm just like, why did he attack him? Or was he not attacked first? Because you can verbally say something to somebody and provoke them. You can verbally attack somebody. If you don't know, that's a crime too. You can verbally assault somebody. You can egg somebody on. Okay, you can perpetuate a whole situation. So let's just not say, oh, well, he just attacked them just out of nowhere. He just attacked two men following him with a gun. He just attacked them. Like, oh, they're innocent. They're standing in the middle of the road, with a gun, blocking your way, and these guys are just God-fearing men that are trying to protect the neighborhood. No, you don't. No. You call the police. Listen, you want to protect your neighborhood? I get that 100%. You see a crime, you report the crime. You're a crime watcher. Boom. I get that 100%. You follow the kid, there's the kid right there who did whatever you thought the kid did. 100%. Boom. Police pull up. Boom. Grab the kid. Case closed. It's over. No, that's not what you did. You provoked that kid. What happened to them, though? Our state is just now open up, so now I'm going to have a police report on what happened. Hold on a second. Hello. All right. Oh, yeah, the salon. Yeah, well, just you tell me what day, and I'll come over and help you move. I think I can. Okay. You're welcome. Bye. Some business real quick. Okay, let me see. Look at a house if you aren't on probation. All right. So the whole him being on probation thing. He's on probation. He's running around the neighborhood. He sees a house under construction, and he goes into the house. Do you think that he thinks that's a crime? The crime he committed was stealing a TV and it wasn't out of a house. So do you think that the cops would think that I'm walking in to this house with no door and it's completely under construction? Do you think that the police would have arrested him? Because that's what you're insinuating. If you're on probation, you shouldn't be running in a house that's under construction in your neighborhood, in the area that you frequent, because it's your neighborhood. You jog around this neighborhood. You often run around this neighborhood, and you're looking in the house that, and then you leave with nothing at all. You didn't take anything. You stand there, you look around the house, and then you leave. Do you think that is an arrestable offense? I mean, do you think that's an arrestable offense? It wasn't his neighborhood? Okay, fine. It wasn't his neighborhood. Do you still think it's an arrestable offense? He lived across the highway. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you think he's ran in that neighborhood before? Do you think he was seen in that neighborhood before? What are the chances? What are the chances that he's ran in that neighborhood before? Okay. Still, even if he went into the house 10 times, is it an arrestable offense? Where the comments at? Yeah, I'm reading all your comments. So listen, you guys are okay. If you're building a case for the McMichaels and to justify what they did, or to even follow them, to follow him, and you're looking at it from the police side and going, well, why is this kid in this area? Why did he walk into this house? And you're on probation. You're on probation. So your probation says, do not, you, if you walk into a house that's being constructed more than once. Not only that, when you say he went into this house 4 times, at least 4 times, that means he's been in this area more than once. Not a problem. What did he take? What did he take the first time, the second time? What did they report? Did they report anything missing? See, if they reported something missing out of his house and he's a suspect, I can understand them calling the police on him. But call the police. I get that 100%. Fishing gear. Oh, you're not seeing the comments from the other people. I don't know why. I don't know why that is. I never control the comments other than if somebody says something crazy. I don't even know how to, I don't even know what to do about that. Well, I'm trying to read the comments. But the Michaels did report the gun stolen from a car on the first. Okay, fine. Who stole the gun? Who stole the fishing gear? Yeah, we're getting somewhere. Who stole it? And does any of this lead up to murder? If this kid, listen, I understand that the McMichaels said that there were things being stolen in the area. So there's this black kid walks into a house that nobody lives in and it's under construction. I understand that. So you're looking at somebody who's not from that area. He's from the area across the street, but he's been in this area before. So now this kid is a prime suspect. He's a prime suspect for breaking and entering. And he's also stole a TV. Did this kid break and entering before? Did he break into somebody's house that they were living in? Visiting the house many times. Still, is that a crime? What crime did he commit going into those houses or going into that house? What was taken? Did he take fishing gear? What did he take? What did he take regardless of his mental issues? I'm asking, Because you said he visited the house several times. Okay, he's been in that area several times. Okay, the neighbor said, "Hey, get out of that house." Okay, okay, he's accused of taking fishing gear and a gun. Okay, now that raises things to a different level. I raises things. The gun raises the fishing gear doesn't, but the gun raises things to a different level. But still, but still, you call the police. McMichaels called the police. The neighbor saw this kid. They saw him in the house, told him to get out the house, and called the police. The police were not far behind before this altercation. Do you have the right to do what the McMichaels done? Another two houses had robberies with the previous month. Okay, did Arbery do that? Did Ahmaud Arbery do that? Was he the one that did that? So is he the only one that's running around this neighborhood stealing? Did he do? See, what it all boils down to is these people had no right to approach this kid with guns, regardless of the stand your ground law, regardless of the citizen's arrest. You had no right to approach this guy. You had no right to approach him. If you were going to do a citizen's arrest, you should have just followed the kid who's running down the street broad daylight. If you thought the kid had a gun, you stay away from him. The police are on their way. This is what a police force is for. 100%. You have no right to stand in the middle of the street, block his way with two guns. You have no right to do that. No right. Listen, not only that, if you're saying that the man had a gun in hand, this also tells me that you escalated the situation. You knew that he had a gun, which he did. They didn't find no gun on him. But you're assuming that a gun was stolen and that he had the gun. So you rode on this kid with the gun, with two guns. You had every intention on killing this kid. Every intention. How far do you think he would have ran if he ran the other way? With a guy, with two people, two vehicles, being followed by two vehicles, three people. Two of those people have guns, and you know they have guns because you know who they are. How far do you think he would have got? How far? How far do you think you would get? You got somebody behind you rolling up on you. This is the person filming, and you got people in front of you, and both of them have guns, and one of them is already standing out in the street. How far do you think you would have got? You don't have a weapon. I'm just asking you. How far do you think you would have got? If he would have took off and ran across how far do you think you would have got? Not very far at all. You only need responsible suspect. Okay, you only need, okay, let me try to read some of this. Michael Polanski. You only need reasonability, suspicions that did the reporting disagree, reasonable doubt. The problem is McMichaels didn't know he was having mental problems. They didn't expect him to run. Or you expect, listen, you pull a gun. You have two guns and you're standing in somebody's way. It's not what look, you can expect anything. You go from being an intelligent person to an animal in a cage. You block my way. You block my way, so I can't get past you. I know there's somebody behind me, and I know there's two people in front of me or on the side. Matter of fact, they were in front of him. Two people in front of me with the guns, with two guns to me, and one is already in the street. They're not in their car. One is in the street with a shotgun, and the other one is in the back of the cab. The car is stopped, which means they were ahead of you before you got there. What do you think their intent is? What do you think their intent is? I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's nowhere I can go. I'm gonna head to the other side of the truck. Get around the other side of the truck. There is somebody standing there with a shotty. Nah, bro. You're an animal in a cage now. You're completely blocked. Where are you going? You're completely blocked off. Nope. They aren't standing his way. He was trying to go to the other way. No, they're standing in his way. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. No, bro. They're standing in his way. This right here is the McMichael's vehicle. This right here is Arbery, right? They're going this direction. This is most likely what happened. They are standing in his way. This is the way he's traveling. You pull ahead of him, get out the car, stop. He goes around and then engages. They're in his way. They're blocking him off. They're not behind him. They're not behind him talking. They're in his way. Okay, hold on a second. Let me try to keep up with some of this. They aren't standing in his way. They already blocked him once. Right. And he turned around, ran the other way, back towards the construction site. Boom, they were in his way. Racist area, and they report them. Oh, they're living in a racist area, and they reported them taking 2 months to come out. Do the math. Right. This is all racial. And they are going to make him look bad. They're going to try to make him look bad. So they pulled up. The dude is an ex-cop. Come on now. We know how this goes. We know how this goes. Amber Geiger shot a man in his house. And they came up with he was smoking weed. He was smoking weed in his house? This is what you come up with? And you justify this woman blowing this man away instead of looking at the real reason what's going on? And this chick gonna show up in court with and do her hair blonde so she can get sympathy? Yo, I'll tell mine. So they pulled up to him after the first roadblock and said, hey man, we just want to talk to you. No, you don't. Not with guns in your hand. Not to mention, you still don't know how to write to block me anywhere. Then they did this the second block. You don't have to block me nothing. Get the hell out of my way. If you say I committed a crime, call the police. You already did that. You already called the police. So let the police stop me. Back on their own street. Yeah, let the police stop me. You already called the police. It's broad daylight. What are my chances of getting away? With what crime? What crime? Stealing fishing gear? Where is it? I stole a gun? Where is it? Where is the stuff that I stole? You know what's really crazy? The thieves are probably going to still vandalize that area. Even more now. Okay. How was he acting weird when he was trying to fight for his life? Exactly. That was the second roadblock. Yeah, like I said, they provoked him. Why is this a racist area? They're saying it's a racist area is because the police didn't arrest him when they was first killed 2 months ago. Evidence for that. I hope it isn't racist area. Well, it's Georgia. I try to have faith. Yeah, I have no faith in humanity. Not like that. There was no crime. That's why it's so strange that he took off so fast. I would have took off too. Listen, like I said, I used to be a runner. I used to run the mile. So in order to get a good base for the mile, you run 2-3 miles. Man, I've had people throw stuff at me. I've had white people call me out my name, call me the N-word. I've had that happen. 100%. I've had black people throw stuff at me, say stuff to me, but I have had a white person drive past me and call me an N-word, or try to splash me, or try to knock me over and stuff like that in their vehicles. I've had that happen. So I've had problems from both races. I've had that. So I'm not just saying that, this is something that white people do, but I've had white people call me the N-word, and I'm just jogging down the street, minding my own business. So it is a thing, people. It is a thing. All right? So let's not act like it's not a thing. It is a freaking thing. Now, with what you guys are saying that he was blocked off twice, this kid was scared. Like I said, he had nowhere to go. He wasn't going anywhere. You blocked him off once, he turned around and started running again. And he's in the street running. He's not running on a curb. Listen, if I want to get away from a vehicle, why would I still be running in the street? He just didn't want to talk to him. I'm running in the street where vehicles go. And I'm not running, I'm jogging in the street where vehicles go. You blocked me off talking about you want to talk to me. I turn around and jog the other way. I'm in the street. I'm not in the yard. I didn't jump a fence. I didn't do any of that. I'm in the street jogging. You get in your vehicle, come around, and you block my way. Pull out the jammy on me. Two of you. Whip out the jammy on me. All right? Nah. You guys been following me too? Nah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. No, it is a race issue. It is a race issue. If you're jogging down the street and some white guy drives by us and calls you the N-word, that is racial. That's what happened to me. That happened to me, people. What am I going to do? Track him down? I'm on foot. I'm tired. I done covered 2 miles or plus already. I'm not going to. But it happens when you're running in different neighborhoods. When you're running in different neighborhoods, it happens. So, yeah. I'm saying they provoked this kid. And I think they should be in jail for life. I think the one who shot was the son, right? I think he should, to me, you're going to get life. That's just to me. But I don't know all the laws. I'm not a lawyer. This is not my field of expertise. But when I start picking everything apart, I come back to one fact. You called the police already. The police were en route. You guys you already had him on camera. In more than one camera, you were already following him. You did not need to approach him with guns. You already blocked him off. The police were en route. This is what they do. This kid was not physically harming anyone. He was not a threat to you whatsoever until you provoked him. And when you provoked him and he knew he had nowhere to go, you're just going to keep following and keep blocking him off. And when he saw that, the kid did what the only thing he could do. He's like, I can't go nowhere. You're just going to keep following me. You're in vehicles. I'm on foot. I can't run. You have 2 guns. There's nothing else I can do but try to survive. And the only thing I can try to do is use my speed and my strength to get to you before you can raise your gun. He took a gamble on his life and he lost. He lost. He took a gamble on his life. Well, the Neo E, what was the set? No. Oh, okay, so you're talking about the actual struggle. Okay, so during the struggle, you're like, what was the son supposed to do when he got attacked? See, I'm saying that the whole thing was premeditated. I'm thinking that this didn't even have to come to this point because you guys already called the police. So yeah, during the struggle, it's a struggle for life now. Okay? One person's going to get the gun and shoot the other person. This is what I'm thinking. I mean, if I'm McMichael, I'm like, oh, if he gets his gun, he's going to shoot me. So it's a battle for life right now. That's not my issue. Okay? Not to mention, you shoot him once, boom, shot him in the hand. How much fight does this kid still got in him? Then you shoot him 2 more times. You shot him 2 more times. First time you shot him in the hand. Then you shot him 2 more times. No. We're not doing that. You're not going to sit there and shoot this kid 3 times and think that you're just going to walk off and nothing's going to happen. The struggle, I understand that. I understand the first gunshot. You're struggling for a gun, the gun goes off, boom, end of it. Somebody got shot. I get that 100%. But then you're going to cap the kid 2 more times? I can almost see 1 time. If the kid's still coming at you after he got shot in the hand, he's still, coming at you for the gun. It's still a struggle for life. Both of our blood is up. It's fight or flight. We're both animals now. There's no reasonability. There's only survival. Boom. You back off. Boom. Cap him again. Boom. He gets shot. But then you bust him again? Now you're talking about murder 1. Listen. In this situation, for one, you have to look at the excessiveness of it all. Okay, recently the police shot a military young man who was fleeing the scene of, he led him on a high-speed chase, and he had the whole thing on Facebook Live, and then he ditched the car. When he got out the car, the police were right on him. He got out the car, he started running. He's still on Facebook Live, and the police are like, freeze, he's running. Hand in phone, the other hand is actually holding up his pants. So he's running. You know how these kids do, running on Facebook. Like, they shot him 10 times in the back. How do you justify that? These are police officers. And then they say he's going to have a closed casket. 10 times in the back. How do you justify that? The gun is supposed to be used when you are in fear of your life. Meaning this guy has a gun and he is firing at you. He's not running from you. But the cops have dumbed this down to, if you're fleeing, then, I'm shooting you. And we can sort it all out later. You don't even have to be fleeing. They shot a guy recently and he had his hands in the air. They shot another guy and he was laying on his back with his hands in the air, and they still shot him. They still shot that guy. And they shot a guy, they murdered a 22-year-old rapper who was asleep in his car. And they surrounded his car and opened fire and murdered this kid. Just murdered him. Straight up. Talking about he's reaching. And that was it. And that's their justification. I hope they all burn a devil's hell. Every single one of them. I hope they burn for an eternity. Because that is murder. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not kill. That is 100% murder. If you can't catch that kid who's running from you, then guess what? You just can't. Lay off the donuts, buddy. Tase them if you're that close. But since when can you just shoot a fleeing suspect who is not a threat to you? And we've seen it over and over and over again. Like I said, the McMichaels, the father was a police officer. They're of this frame of mind that, to me, that you can just shoot black people. You can just shoot black people. That is the common thread now. If they resist arrest, shoot them. What happened to Eric Garner? He had his hands in the air and they choked him out. If you resist arrest, hey, kill him. You see the one video where they ran this guy over. He's running from the cops. They took the car and ran him over. We have videos where police are shooting people through the windshield before they even get on the scene. They're coming up, they see the person, blah, 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 blah. Like some kind of ridiculous movie. And there's a bunch of you, and you're just drilling this person through the windshield like you're really saving a life of somebody from a vicious killer that's got to even have a weapon. And they're killing people in the most heinous ways. So no, you can't just shoot black people and get away with it. If you shot this kid in the struggle, understood once, maybe the second time is almost, but the third time is ridiculous. And like I said, you shouldn't have even been there at all. You shouldn't have approached that kid with a gun at all. You should have just followed him. You have the right to follow somebody if you think they're committing a crime in broad daylight, running down the middle of the street at a very slow pace. Sure, this guy is a criminal. This guy is on probation for stealing ATV. So there's a missing gun somewhere. We don't know if he took it. There is missing fishing gear. We don't know if he took it. He walks into the same house more than once. This house is under construction. There's not even a doorway on it. There is no crime being committed there. You probably have people walking in and out of houses being constructed all the time. This is something that just happens. There's no crime being committed there. You have no evidence that this kid committed a crime in this house. But you have crimes that are being committed in this area. Call the police. You got yourself a prime suspect, according to you. The worst thing is that, we're going to make fun of you on social media because you call the police on a guy who's jogging down the street. But now the worst thing is you could be doing life in prison. And there are people who are up in arms, and there's going to be more bloodshed. You better believe it. Every time the police shoot somebody, what do you think, that they just go home and don't worry about anything? No, they're worried about somebody retaliating against them. And other police who are good cops are now on edge. Even if you're acquitted, oh, they're acquitted, and they go on vacation, paid leave. They go on paid leave. You can't even talk to them for 30 days. You think that the citizens just look at that and go, another black man was shot. Black people, we can just shoot them. No, you have someone out there somewhere who's looking at what has happened, and they look at the evidence. If this guy or female or child, because they're shooting kids too, did not approach this officer with intent to kill, if they are you got to understand, everybody is their own judge and jury in their house. If they look at a crime that happened to somebody of their kin, of their ilk, of their clan, of their nationality, of their blood, and they go, there's no way that this person was going to harm this police officer, and you shot and killed this person. They're not going to sleep easy. They're not going to say this is just the way America is. Someone somewhere is going to look at that and go, all right, the next time I have to deal with anybody in law enforcement, for one, I don't trust none of you. I don't want to be around you. You got people who won't even let them in their, you got people who won't even let police officers into their establishment. You can't eat here. Nope. And they have a sign, we do not serve police officers, good or bad. Then you got people who just go off the rail and say, I'm going to, you had that one case where the black guy shot the police officer who had nothing to do with nothing. He just walked up and shot him. He just killed the man simply because of his uniform. But it's more to it than that. We see all the stuff that the cops are getting away with. And some people do not use sense and sensibility. They're not rational. They're just like, you killed somebody of my color, so I killed somebody who's wearing your uniform. I didn't get Darren Williams, the kid who killed Michael Brown, shot him 11 times in the face. 11 times. You shot this kid 11 times in the face, through the eye, while he was on his knees. 11 times. And you got away with that. No, you didn't. Somebody else paid for that. There's a good cop somewhere doing his job, loves the people, took the oath, took it to heart, wants to serve the people. That's what they're there for. That cop is now laying in a grave somewhere because of what you did. And you got away with, and then the American people paid you $250,000. No, there will be blood. Trust me. It just doesn't go down, it just doesn't go away. That's not how it goes. It's amazing that after he got shot, though, through the hand, that he still landed like 8 good heavy punches to the head. Well, you're looking at adrenaline right there. That's all. Like I said, he was in fight or flight. This wasn't a casual moment for him. He was in survival mode. And you can do anything in survival mode. You're stronger, you're faster. You see how fast he ran across and met McMichaels in the street? Before he could react, boom, he was on top of him. Hey, the video I was talking about just broke on the media. Okay, I'll look at it. It's your natural human instinct to run from danger. And they know that, and they know that, and they still kill you. This is true. This is true. Let's listen. The relationship between the people, because it's not just black people getting shot and killed, between the people and the police officer is fragmented. It is fragmented. Like, I don't really, and you got some of them that are just beautiful people, but I myself, I don't look to hang around any of them. I'm not friends with any of them. I mean, there's some, I know you're an officer. I'm like, okay, but I don't really. I met one recently. She was cool. She's a cool chick, white lady. You know what I'm saying? She's cool. We talked. She had to come to my house because I had a report for something that happened online. She took the report. She's a cool person. She's not my friend, but I don't have angst against her. I don't look at her and go, eh. But I'm not her friend. I don't really look to make friends with somebody who can shoot me and go on vacation. Like, this is a thing. I don't that will never work for me. You know what I'm saying? And it's a shame because this is a cool person. And we had a great conversation. But because she wears that uniform, there's only a limit to how friendly we can be. I still have the fact that you can pull out a revolver and blow my goddamn head off and then and make money off of it. That will always be in my head. Like, this is, I avoid them. I don't hate all of them. I hate the ones who make the job harder for the rest of them. I hate the ones who are doing crimes against the people. I hate the ones who are falsely arresting, the ones who are shooting children, men, women, and children who are innocent and then getting away with it. No, I hope all of them die. I hate all of them. I have no love for them. I have no love for the system that protects them. Not whatsoever. But for the ones who are doing their job, it's necessary to have a policing force so things don't get out of hand. I'm with that all day. I understand that. But for the people who are abusing the badge, I hate them with a passion. I hate them with everything in my gut. Nice talking to you too, man. I hope you get the facts and justice is served. Peace to all. Stay safe. Yeah, peace to you too. Books Breaking Rank by Richard and Once a Cop by Corey. Okay. Corruption officer speaking to the corruption, and the book Serpico. Okay. The academy is supposed to teach how to halt that. Yeah, but the academy is corrupt. Many necessary to stop anyone they thought were criminal. Excessive, senseless force isn't human, right? It's warped, barbaric. How is that legal? Exactly. How's that legal to any judge? I hate the judges that let this go. I hate Zimmerman. I don't know how he became a celebrity. Like, don't come around me. George Zimmerman can't come around me. I'm not comfortable with you around me. I'm leaving the area. I'm leaving the area because my impulse is to deal with you. That's my impulse, because you think that you can kill 17-year-old kids, black kids, and then go to a judge and jury, and that judge and jury say, well, we're going to let you go and not put you in jail for the rest of your life because, Trayvon could have got away from you. You follow, look, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Citizens arrest. George Zimmerman was trying to do citizens arrest. It's the same bull crap. He approaches Trayvon Martin, and Trayvon does what? This is the same damn thing. What's Trayvon Martin do? He fights for his life. George Zimmerman losing in the fight that he caused. You got in a fight with a young warrior, and that young warrior started whooping your ass. You caused this fight. All you had to do was say, and listen, you have already called the police. And they're talking about you hate when they get away. Well, follow him if you feel that strongly about it. But you get out the car with a gun and you shoot this 17-year-old kid over a bag of Skittles. And then you get away with it. No, I hope George Zimmerman dies and burns in the devil's hell. I have no love for him. I have no prayers for him. Because of that, because of him getting away, you got situations like this. People think it's okay to just murder black people and to say, it's a citizen's arrest. They attacked me, self-defense, case closed. No, it's not closed. This is America, Jack. Okay, everything is on video nowadays. All right, and you was cool until the video showed up, McMichaels. Not only that, now people know where you live. They know your family. This is a social media world. And folks are angry. They're already jogging down your street. Like, come and do something. They're already doing that. Okay, let something get out of hand again. And see, and listen, it's a peaceful protest that they're doing. They're jogging down your street now in peaceful protest. All right? Don't let it get any more out of hand. I'm just trying to tell you. Listen, we know that we're outnumbered. We know that there are more white people in America than there are black. We are sorely outnumbered. If you really want to know the numbers, it's 200 million to our 40 million? Our 40 million. We know we're outnumbered. We're outnumbered and we're outgunned. But you'd be foolish to think that somebody innocent who loves black people is not going to pay the price for it. You'd be foolish to think that. It just doesn't happen like this. Black people do hate each other. Yes, black people do hate each other. Black people hate me. But I'm going to tell you something. Here's the thing about that. Here's the thing. So, black people hate each other. This is true. We're like crabs in a barrel. We're all trying to, get them crumbs. We're all trying to come up. So there's a lot of damage to this happen to black people, and the reason why they think this. You got the music that was put out there. We're not even going to say who put the music out there, but you got crazy music that's put out there, and in all kinds of situations that have happened to us that has mentally enslaved us, and we just hate each other for no reason other than we just hate each other. But here's the thing: you got family members that don't like family members until somebody from somewhere else comes in the house and beats up one of the family members. Next thing you know, that family is not hating each other anymore, and they're hating the person who came in and beats up one of the family members. All land is stolen. You going to Mars? I might go to Mars if I could afford it. The dispatcher says You didn't need to follow him. Right. George says, okay, his way back to Judge Trayvon sucker punched him. Right. Whoa. Okay, so Trayvon sucker punched George Zimmerman. All right, so let's review that. And you're saying he's not a warrior. Okay, for one, physically, Trayvon is 17. He's a 17-year-old kid. This is still a kid, right? George Zimmerman, I don't know how old he is. I don't know how old he is. He is a grown man. Physically, Trayvon Martin hits someone who's following him. So you agitated this kid. This is a kid. This is not a grown-up. This is somebody who still lives with their parents. All right? This is a kid. Goes to high school. Let's get this under control. You are a responsible adult. You pay your own bills. You go to work. You are an adult. This is a kid. You follow this kid, all right, whose only responsibility is to be a kid. You follow this kid, and you get out and start beefing with this kid, and you think that this kid's not going to hit you. Yeah, he sucker punched him. You're following him and you're agitating him. You damn right he sucker punched him. All right? You guys get into a fight. Look, George Zimmerman wasn't there to stop some criminal. He thought and knew he had the upper hand because he had a weapon in his hand, because he possessed a weapon. George Zimmerman wasn't there for a fair fight. How would you think? George Zimmerman stopped and harassed this kid for a fair fight to stop a crime? If George Zimmerman wanted to stop a crime, he could have followed Trayvon, who was not hiding. He was walking down the street, and just called the police and said, there he is. He had already called the police. Why didn't he just follow him and say, he has on a hoodie? This is what he has on. Boom, there he is. Well, what did he do? Well, I think that, I'm not even sure what he did. George Zimmerman gets out and starts an altercation, and he got sucker punched. And this takes away from Trayvon Martin? This makes him look bad? Because you started a fight with a 17-year-old young man who's minding his damn business? This in George Zimmerman is the hero? How does that? I just don't. I'm minding my business. I'm eating Skittles. I'm walking down the street. It's the nighttime. I live in this area. I'm not a stranger to the. Wait a minute. I live here. Hold on. Let me try to figure this out. My parents live down the street. I'm minding my business. I'm walking down the street. I've done nothing wrong. Just a 17-year-old kid, just minding my business. And if somebody approaches me and starts beefing with me and wants to get into it, and I crack him in his jaw because I don't know he has a gun. I don't know who he is. He's not the police. He doesn't have any authority over me whatsoever. And he's accusing me of something that I didn't do. So I'm agitated. And you're in my way. Damn right he punched him. I would have punched him too. Okay, we're going to check that out. 90% of all juvenile crime is done by what youths? I don't know what that word is. I don't know what that word is. Yeah. I can't wait till somebody deals with George Zimmerman. I want them to beat his whole face in. You know what I'm saying? You killed a kid. I'm not with that at all. Like that's years ago, and it's still, like I said, I can't go around George Zimmerman. And now he's a celebrity. Let me do something like that. Black people will ride on me so fast. I go out here and gun down a 17-year-old black kid. Man, the whole neighborhood would be at my house. I wouldn't make it to jail. I wouldn't. I would not make it to jail. It would be over for me quickly. But you made this man a celebrity? See, this I don't get this. I don't get this at all. I don't get that 100%. And as far as black people hate black people, listen, when something is done to a black person, it's not all of a sudden we love all black people. We all think that if they did this to them, then what's to stop somebody else of this color from doing it to me? That's what the reasoning is. It's not that all of a sudden, Trayvon Martin's family is my family. No. But if I have a 17-year-old son, listen, LeBron James, when all this police shooting, it's still happening, but he went on, they was asking him about one particular case. I don't know, there's so many cases. He was like, I have a son, and I got two sons, and one of them is going to be driving soon. So it was a situation where one was driving. He's like, one of them is going to be driving soon. He's like, we need to, do something about this. Like we need to keep the conversation going. But it doesn't matter, the conversation, LeBron. Police kill black people. They even admitted to it. Oh, I would have convicted George Zimmerman 100%. I would have convicted him to 25 to life. Just like I would convict the McMichaels that shot this Arbery kid. I would convict you to 25 to life, day for day. For the simple fact that you did not let the police do their job. You took the law in your own hands. And that's all I see. I don't see after the fact. I don't see the altercation. I don't care about the altercation. I don't care. Not to mention, you shot a child. Yeah, you shot a child is all I see. You shot a child. That's all I see with George Zimmerman. He shot a child and they let him get away with it because of his family ties. I would have convicted him to 25 for life, maximum prison. Lockdown. Oh, yeah. Put him in state, too. I wouldn't have put him in federal. I would have made sure his life is not comfortable. 25 to life without parole. No. I would have made an example of him, just like he made an example of Trayvon Martin. And that would have been that. Because you called the police and did not let the real law enforcement do their job. That's all I see. I don't see the struggle. I don't care about him crying about getting hit and struggling for his life and all this bullcrap about the Florida law. You have the right to be armed. And then, if somebody is, no, get out of here. It's a fight that you started. So wait a minute. I have the right to start a fight. And if I lose, I can kill the person. That's the law. That's the law in Florida. I have the right to go out and pick a fight with an adolescent. An adolescent. I'm a grown-ass man. I can see an adolescent, a 17-year-old boy, and say, you know what? I think you just stole, I don't know, a crayon. I think you just stole a crayon. Get out of here. I ain't stealing a crayon. He hits me for saying something ridiculous and getting in his way. He hits me, knocks me down, whooping my ass for starting a fight with him over something that's completely ridiculous. I'm getting my old ass whooped by a 17-year-old, and I even the playing field and busting the bam, bust a cap in it. And I'm in the right. George Zimmerman is going to burn in the devil's hell. And I'm not going to feel one bit of sorry for him. No. You have the right to follow someone. Okay, fine. Fine. You got the right to follow him. Do you have the right to get out the car and then start an altercation with him? You act like all he did was sit in the car and follow them. If that would have happened, Trayvon Martin would be 25 right now. He didn't follow him. The McMichaels didn't follow Arbery. They followed them with intent. They were armed in both cases. Trayvon Martin was not armed. Arbery was not armed. In both cases, they claimed citizen's arrest. In both cases, they initiate the altercation. In both cases. In both cases, they called the police. In both cases. Before they made contact with both the individuals. George Zimmerman called the police before he got in contact with Trayvon Martin. The McMichaels called the police before they got in contact with Arbery. The police were already called. If you're going to follow them, then follow them. Fine. But getting out the car and starting an altercation, this is where things are skewed. Your right to carry does not mean you have the right to start an altercation. And in my eyes, George Zimmerman should be doing 25 to life, and the McMichaels should be doing 25 to life. This is murder in the first degree. And to me, premeditated murder. George Zimmerman said, I hate it when they get away. That is premeditated murder. His intent was so Trayvon did not get away, and he didn't. He died on that day. Premeditated murder. I don't know how much more premeditated you can get. Yeah, 911 told Zimmerman not to follow him, but he did it anyway. I hate it when they get away. There was a third video of Ahmaud Arbery and a second of him going into a home. One video is him, and the right one is him during that day. Fine. Listen, once again, I'm going to repeat this over and over because they're going to keep bringing. See, what they're going to try to do is smear his name. What they're going to try to do is smear Arbery's name. Black people need to come together. Black Americans need to go back to the motherland. Okay, motherland. I'm going to read these before I get into this comment. The expectation for the McMichaels was to hold him until the cops come. Intent is a large part of the law. Let's deal with that. Let's deal with that, Mr. Mike Polakowski. Is I say that right, Polakowski? All right. So you are obviously on the side of the McMichaels. That's fine. All right. So you want to bring up the law. All right. The expectation of the McMichaels was to hold him. Okay. So they're driving down the street. They see him. They see him jogging down the street. They don't see him with any weapons. They don't see him with any stolen property. And they go, hey, we want to talk to you. This kid or man, 20-something years old, hears them, acknowledges them, and in his rightful mind, denies contact with them, says, I don't want to talk to you. Turns around, heads the other way. Mind you, you still don't know what crime he committed. You are speculating that there is a crime that has been committed. You're assuming that there is a crime. You're not charging him in your own mind with the crime. You see him go in and out, but you don't know if he went in and stole the fishing gear. You don't know if he went in and stole a gun in this house that's being constructed. You don't know what was taken. You don't even know if it was him who took it. But you have a suspect. You suspect something, but you're not sure. And you already did what citizens are supposed to do. Call the police. But you take it upon yourself to stop a man who isn't fleeing a scene. He isn't cutting across yards. He's jogging down the street. We've seen people flee before. They're running a lot faster than what this guy was running. You see a fleeing suspect, they're getting it with everything they got. You can't tell me that this 24-year-old didn't have more gas than that. This kid could have probably turned it on and got up to 15 miles an hour. Okay? Or more than that. So you see this guy, he turns around, he starts jogging the other direction. You acknowledged who you were. You said what your intent is. You wanted to talk to him. He doesn't want to talk to you. One, he knows you. He knows your face because he knows you are what? The police. He knows you used to be a cop. And one, in your relationship between each other, he doesn't like you. So I know you. I know your face. I was in trouble before, and you were the investigating officer. I know your face. Do you think I want to talk to you right now? I don't want to talk to you. For what? You're not stopping me as a police officer, so that means I don't have to talk to you. So as a grown man, I'm not a juvenile, I'm a grown man, I don't have to talk to you. You're not a police officer. You have no right to stop me. I'm jogging down the street in broad daylight. I committed no crime in my mind. I don't want to talk to you. What crime did I commit? You have no right to stop me. So I'm going to keep running. I'm going to keep jogging. And I go and turn around the other direction. And then you follow me and cut me off. Now there's intent. You have the right to follow somebody, but you do not have the right to cut them off with weapons in your hand. I don't care what the Georgia law says about you are able to carry a weapon. That is very much true. But you are not to provoke somebody into a situation and then kill them. The Georgia law doesn't say that, or there'd be a lot more dead people. Oh, I'm free to go and provoke somebody and accuse them. Of something I think they're doing. You got to understand that McMichaels think they have a suspect. They're not allowing the law of due process. That's not what they're doing. Then they get out the car and they stop this person. You don't have the right to do that. You do not have the right to do that. The expectations. We know what their expectations were. Jogging for 20 plus miles in khakis. Okay, fine. Jogging for 20 plus miles in khakis. For one, how many miles was he jogging? You're 20 plus miles. Where do we get this information? He lived in a neighborhood across the street or across the whatever that was. There wasn't stopping a suspect. They thought he stole something. Okay, what did he steal? They was hunting. They saw the black man that they viewed as an animal. They took an opportunity to kill him, point blank. He was over 10 miles from his house. Okay, he was over 10 miles from his house. Fine. In a pair of khaki shorts. Nobody jogs in khaki shorts because that just doesn't happen. So he's over 10 miles from his house. He's walking into houses that aren't even fully constructed. He's been in this house more than one time. There are things being stolen. Were they stolen out of this house? Were the things that were being stolen out of this house? And was he the one that was stealing out of this house? I'm just wondering. You got video of him in and out of this house, of a house that has what in it? What did he steal? Was he caught jogging down the street with fishing? And not only that. Let's be real. He's jogging 10 miles from his house in khaki shorts in broad daylight. No one is in this house. There's no one in it. There's not even a door on this house. This man has been in and out of this house during the day. If he was stealing something, why would he do it in the day? Broad daylight, everybody can see him. And he's 10 miles from his house. 10 miles. That's a long way to carry something stolen. A fishing rod, a hammer. It's 10 miles. 10 miles from his house. What's he gonna carry for 10 miles with khaki shorts on? What? I'm just trying to figure it out. Khaki shorts. Yeah, he's jogging for 20 miles in khaki shorts. Yeah, fine. Khaki shorts. What's he got in there that he took out of that house? What does that house have in it that he can fit in his khaki shorts and run for 10 miles? Please educate me on that. What is so valuable that in this house that's not even constructed and no one lives in it? No one lives in it. There's not even walls on this doggone house. It's not even solidly built that he's going to stick in his khaki shorts and run for 10 miles. Please educate me. Please educate me. Right? Okay, fine. There's video of him going in the house 4 times. Okay, so now you're telling me he was there at night. Right. Why was he in the house? What did he take? What I'm trying to get to is there was no crime committed. There's no crime committed, and there's no justification for killing him. If you think somebody is committing a crime, you call the police. The McMichaels called the police. Do you guys not understand what really is happening here? You not understand what's really happening here is the George Zimmerman case and cases before the George Zimmerman case that have gone public where a person of non-color, you can say whatever about George Zimmerman, he's, white and something else, commits a heinous crime against a black person and gets away with it, then other people think they can commit the same crime and get away with it. The McMichaels would have never, ever confronted this kid, broad daylight with two weapons if they, for one, had no intention on protecting themselves from him, even when they really didn't need to protect themselves from him because they could have stayed in their car and minded their own goddamn business. But when they got out the car, things escalated, and you are expecting them to escalate. If I'm in my car and I'm driving beside you and I'm telling you, hey, I want to talk to you, and you turn around and go the other way, it's clear that you do not want to talk to me. Then I go and get in your way, get around you, jump out my car, and wait for you to run towards me with a gun in your hand. You had intent. If you didn't have intent, then you would have left the gun in the car. Leave the weapon in the car. Why is your son riding in the back of the car like you're getting ready to ride down a slave? Why? Why do you guys look like Ku Klux Klan members? Why? And these are just God-fearing men who just happen to be toting two weapons. What? This is one person. You two grown men can't handle this guy? Two of you. There's two of you. One of you can't handle it, and it was the son who got into the altercation. So if you want to stop and talk to him, stop and talk to him. But if you guys start to bang it out, you banged it. It was one grown man against another grown man, but there's two of you. You bang it out and boom, you wrestling down, boom, police come, whatever. He could file assault charges against you. But you're there with guns? That is clear intent to me. Get up, man. I'm not trying to hear this. People pick apart something and try to say there wasn't intent. Here's clear intent. You had clear intent to escalate the situation. Whether you were able to carry a gun or not, you did not have to bring the gun out of the vehicle. You're allowed to carry the weapon. You carry it in your holster, 100%. If the dad had the gun in the holster and, he was, got out the car and was like, look, we just want to talk to you. Weapon is in the holster. And then Arbery goes for the weapon. That's a whole different story. You are legally allowed to have your gun in the holster. Get you. You jump out the car, you got the shotty ready to go. And he attacks the shotty. No, man. You guys had intent. You could have left the shotty in the car. Dad was in the back of the car and he had the revolver. You could not have lost this fight in any way, shape, form, or fashion. You could not have lost. There's no losing situation for the McMichaels in this arena. You can't lose. There's two people and two weapons against one unarmed man. Dad could have just stood at the top of the cab and been like, you better not hit my son. And that would have been that. No, you guys had intent. You did the same thing Zimmerman did, and Zimmerman got away with it. And this is the result. Years of people doing the same thing. You had that one man that shot that black girl because he knocked on her door in the middle of the night because she was lost and she needed help. So she she was in a white neighborhood where she thought it was safe in suburbia. And she knocked on the door, and the white man saw that it was a black girl. She wasn't armed. She wasn't there to rob them. She was knocking on the door, and she asked for help. He went and got his gun and shot her through the goddamn door and blew her head off. No, you had intent. No, hell no, nobody reasonable thinks he should have been killed. It is pure intent, 100%. If I roll up to your hood with weapons, you better protect yourself. You better protect yourself at all times. Arbery has the right to protect himself. He's surrounded with two people with guns. He has the right to try to protect himself. 100%, he's being followed. He's being chased down. He has the right, regardless of how many times he's been in that house, no one can still tell me what he stole out of that house. He's been in that house many times. So what? Not one of you can tell me what he took out of that house. All you can say is something was stolen in the area. Things were stolen in the area. But you can't tell me what he stole out of that house. And who owns the house? The McMichaels don't own that house. Who owns that house? Who's the owner? And I bet 10 to 1, if you keep rolling the tape, you're going to find out that there was more than one person in and out of that house who didn't belong there. I'm betting 10 to 1. I got my piggy bank on it right here. I got my piggy bank on it. That you roll that doggone tape, you're gonna see more people who were in and out of that house, because that's what people do. They're curious. And when they see houses being built, they like to walk in and house and look how the house is being built. It happens all the time. And so what that they come back in and out of the house? You still can't tell me what was stolen out of the house. They have the right to defend themselves. No. You look. You can't listen. You can't take the timeline and then chop the timeline up and then take the last event and say this is the most important event and that's all we need to look at. That's exactly what you're doing. You're going, Arbery attacked him with the gun. He has a right to defend himself. Okay, fine. Even if that's so, Arbery attacked him. He shoots Arbery through the hand. Arbery still attacks him. Arbery gets shot again. Second time, then you shoot him again. 3 times. That is overkill. That still tells me that there is intent. I knew a guy who was in jail for life, right? He was in jail for life. They put him in jail for life. And this is what happened to him. This is what happened. This is what happened to the guy. I had met him in this housing program, and he came and sat beside me, and you could feel that his energy was up. He was one of those dudes. He would, he just sat there like this. He was like, I just got out of jail for doing life. He started talking to me now. Listen, I was scared because I was like, I don't know what's about to go down. So, but his opening words made me go, you should talk to this man. So I was like, well, what happened? Because he just needed to get it off his chest. He needed to find a friend in an unfriendly environment. So he was like, well, my sister, he's like, that Kroger's down the street? I was like, yeah. He was like, I killed a man. I went and I shot a man, and at the Kroger's stuff, I found him coming out of Kroger's, and I shot him point blank range. I said, well, what'd you do that for? He said, the man raped my sister with a Coke bottle, an old Coke bottle with the funny shape. He took the Coke bottle and he rammed it inside his sister's vagina. And he pushed it all the way in, and his sister was hemorrhaging from this. She had trauma from this, and he said he watched his sister die in the hospital. He snapped. And he said, and when I saw him, I emptied a revolver in it. I shot him, and I kept pulling the trigger. Until the police came. And they arrested him. And they put him in jail for life. He was like, I just got off of death row, is what he actually said. I just got off of death row. And I'm thinking, how'd you get off of death row? And then he said, I said, well, it sounds like you could have claimed insanity. And he said, no, they didn't want to give me insanity. They said if I would have shot him once, that would have been insanity, temporary insanity. And I said, that sounds backwards to me. And it eventually sounded backwards to somebody else because 15 years later, he said, I was in my cell and they just came up to my cell and said, you're going home today. And they let him out. Temporary insanity. He snapped. And he killed that man just like anybody else would if they saw their sister bleeding to death from somebody who raped them with a Coke bottle. Flipped out. Know what I'm saying? You got to understand. I'm glad they let him out too. I'm glad they let him out too. You got to understand this. Especially you, Mr. Pulowski. And I'm glad you're on here. Like, I don't have no angst against you. Know this. But this is what's happening. This is a nation divided again over something that's happened and keeps happening and will happen again if the nation doesn't do something about it. More power to that man, because I would have done the same thing. Right. So when you say you have the right, because you're saying you're correct, both parties have the right to defend themselves, and then you just look at the last part of that where Arbery attacks old dude. You can't just take that part and go, this is the cut and dry. This is the cut and dry. This is not the cut and dry. You didn't shoot him once, you shot him 3 times. You had intent. You intended to do this. Now, when you start thinking about the law and you start thinking about intent, you go, well, when did your intent start? Did you intend to shoot him when the neighbor informed you that there was a black man running out of this house? You went and grabbed your guns. Okay, fine. You went and grabbed your guns because you don't know if they have a gun or not. There was a gun stolen somewhere. So you grabbed your guns. Not against the law. Not ashamed of that. I'm with that 100%. You grabbed your guns to protect yourself. Boom. But did your intent start there? Because you didn't just want to go and talk to him. You went and grabbed your guns. You wanted to protect yourself. You have the right to do that. You jumped in the car and you caught up to him and you start following him and then you start talking to him and you told him that you wanted to talk to him and he did not want to talk to you. Then you blocked his direction again. He turned around the other direction, started going the other direction. You blocked his direction again and you got in front of him, got out of your car, and you had your weapons in hand. End result, he's dead. When did your intent start? Did it start when you heard it was a black man? Because if it was a white guy, would you have been standing in the middle of the road with your gun? Would you? Gonna put my piggy bank on it that you wouldn't have done it if it was a white guy. Gonna put my piggy bank on it and say you had clear intent. You shot that man 3 times and you didn't have to. Fight was over. You had intent to kill him. 25 to life. As a matter of fact, life. You took a life, we're going to take yours. Fine. You're trained to end the threat. When did the threat end? The first gunshot? No, because he was still punching you. The second gunshot. Did the threat end? Not to mention, you're not a cop anymore. So your police training, okay, fine. Look, I'm military trained. I still have that in me. It doesn't mean I go out and start slapping people with a scepter hand. I don't do that. I don't carry around an M16. I I know how to use one. I know how to hide in bushes and, backblast area all clear. I know how to shoot a bazooka. I know how to stop a tank with weapons. But that doesn't mean I go and do it. I have the military training. Understood. When did your intent stop? When did it start? Well, we knew when it stopped. When did it start? You had clear intent. You shot that man, just like the story I told you. This guy had intent. They put him in jail for murder one, but they took him 15 years to consider temporary insanity. That guy left his house with the intent on finding the guy who raped his sister, who he watched die in a hospital. She suffered in front of him, and he went insane after he saw that. And when he caught that guy, he emptied a clip on him, and I would have done the same damn thing. He had intent. The McMichaels had intent to kill. You shot him more than once. You shot him more than twice. You shot him 3 times. That is intent. I'm not biased with the case. I picked this case apart with the information that I have, which is what you guys are presenting to me. Show me where I'm wrong. That's what we're here for. That's what the conversation is for. Listen, I'm not riding on white people right now. I don't have a gun loaded up and I'm about to go do damage to somebody. I'm on YouTube, in my house, talking to you people about a case that seems to mirror a case that happened a couple of I don't know when the Zimmerman case was. This seems to be a common thread. Then there was a case after the Zimmerman case. There was cases before the Zimmerman case. There seems to be the citizen's arrest. I can go out and shoot black people. This is when's the last time a citizen's arrest happened where a black man went out and shot a white person and killed them? Name me one. Because you say that I'm biased. Fine, flip the script. When's the last time a black cop has shot a white man? When's the last time a citizen's arrest was made by black people and they killed a white man? Since you think I'm biased, I'm just looking at it from one side. You're right. You can't tell me. You can't tell me, because there's a common thread of citizens taking the law in their own hands with the intent to kill and successfully doing so and getting away with it. The McMichaels thought they could get away with it, and for 2 months they did. They had intent to kill this black man, and they did it. Just like Zimmerman had intent to kill. It's nothing biased about it. It's the simple facts. Exactly. We're not often calling the cops either because we got a street code. But I'll call the cops on you in a minute. But I'll still deal with you if I got to. But I'm old school. I like to knuckle up. If I like to give and take an ass whooping. Because I learned from it. It makes me stronger. It makes me physically stronger. That's the hood I come from. I don't come from a hood where everybody is gunning each other down. I come from a hood when you walked outside, you can get in a fight with anyone. I done got in fights with people who I knew I would lose to. I done got hit and stunned by somebody I started a fight with. Stunned. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? But I deserved it because I started the fight. I didn't start the fight and then go and shoot this person and kill him. I started the fight. I got beat up. I didn't get beat up, but I got stunned. That was the end of the fight. It was it. Once the person saw that I was stunned and that was it. The fight was over. Okay? There was no retaliatory, oh, I got a weapon and then bang, and then I'm in the right. No. You can't tell me when a citizen's arrest was made from a black person, a black man, black woman, and then they go and they shot this white person, this unarmed white person who they assumed committed a crime. You can't tell me that scenario. You can't. You can't tell me where black people followed a white person and then blew this person away. You can't. But you can tell me several instances where a white person has done this to a black person. Why? Because they think they can get away with it, and they have. And as long as they get away with it, this is as long as they'll keep doing it. Not biased. No, the wrong was started when you stopped that man. There was no right in you stopping that man. Okay, when you talking about Trayvon wasn't innocent, where was his fault? He was a 17-year-old child. Where was Trayvon Martin's fault? Trayvon wasn't innocent. Okay, fine. Where was his fault? What did he do that put him at risk of his life? Because we're talking about a life taken. We're not talking about prison. We're not talking about slap on the hand. We're talking about this has escalated. Trayvon Martin did something that his life should be taken away. What was his fault? He hit a man? Where was it? Listen, everybody has a paid duty. You can't talk about Trayvon's past for not being innocent. He wasn't innocent. That's right. Yeah. But what was his fault? What was Trayvon's fault where he should have got his life taken away? He was winning a fight? So you mean to tell me everybody out here who's losing a fight has the right, the inalienable right, to shoot the person who's beating them up, to shoot and kill them? You have the right to do that. You have the right to go out and start a fight and kill that person if you're losing. Where was Trayvon's fault? He has some large criminal past that made him a danger to his society. Was he a menace to society? Was he a gun-toting gang member out here robbing and stealing and beating up people and just complete alien out of control? Where was he a big-time drug dealer? What was he to the fact that where due process is thrown out the window and murder is the only answer for this criminal running rampant? Where is it where the court system that has been in place for hundreds of years, where we take that and throw it right out the window? We're tossing all of that knowledge out the window. No due process, no fair, no innocent until proven guilty, no police, nothing. Execute them. Where's this? What did Trayvon Martin do where he deserved to be executed, other than he was winning a fight? I want to know. Please tell me, because I want to know what insight that you have that would make us all go, you know what? That man deserved to die. This boy. That 17-year-old boy deserved to die. He did. He deserved to be shot right in the chest because please tell me in the comments. He wasn't innocent. Please educate me. He made it home and then came back to whoop George's ass. Okay, and still, tell me where murder is the case, is the only resolve. Please tell me. You started a fight with him. Trayvon Martin didn't know George Zimmerman. He didn't know him. George Zimmerman's life and Trayvon Martin's life did not intersect. They didn't intertwine. They didn't know each other. They're two different worlds. But one person took it upon another person to enter in the other person's world. And when you did, violence happened because you entered in a violent fashion. You provoked him. And he beat you up maybe more than once. And I would have done it too. It's a 17-year-old child. This is not somebody who's, who has a family that he has to take care of. He's like, look, I ain't got time for that. I'm going home. That's not what this is. This is a 17-year-old child. George Zimmerman was a man that wanted to be a cop, exactly right. But they wouldn't hire him. This is true. So he did what he thought right. And the neighborhood watched. And you're the neighborhood watch. You still can't tell me what crime that Trayvon Martin committed to make George Zimmerman, even though the police, the real police, said do not follow him, to make George Zimmerman ignore the police and pursue this man. So what? You got your ass whooped. You started a fight. Don't start none. Don't be none. This kid had hands on him. You didn't expect that, but you had intent because you had a weapon. Because if George Zimmerman didn't have that weapon, do you think he would have messed with Trayvon Martin? The answer is absolutely not. He knew he had the upper hand. Yeah, he's a total douchebag. But I'm not only talking to you, Chad. I'm not only talking to you. I'm trying to get you guys to understand that there is a pattern here that the McMichaels wouldn't have done. They would not have approached Arbery with weapons if they didn't know about George Zimmerman's case and cases before that. If they didn't see where the white citizen took it upon themselves to attack a black citizen and kill them and got away with it. Listen, the jail system and the penal system is set up for resistance. They know they're not going to catch any criminal, but they know the possibility of catching a criminal, the possibility of stopping, of deterring criminal act is higher if there is punishment for the criminal act. That's what it's all about. You can't put everybody in prison. There are over 2 million people in prison right now. I mean, just in the state of Ohio, there are 11 million people. You can't put everyone in prison. But people with sane and sound mind are going, I'm not going to go out and steal a car because I don't want to go to prison. But if you got people who are out there stealing cars and have no fear of going to prison, then you're going to have more people stealing cars. That's just the way it's going to be. The McMichaels had no fear of going to prison for murdering Arbery because of what they seen in the past. And one of the McMichaels a cop. He got friends in the police force. They had no fear shooting him. And because they had no fear, they stopped him with guns in hand. If they just wanted to talk, they wouldn't have had guns. Or they would have had guns and would have told anybody, would have did as the law say. When you have an open carry For one, you have to have it where people can see it. If you have a concealed weapon and you get into an altercation, then you have to let the person know that you have a concealed weapon. They already had one person who was on top of the cab or in the cab, which was the father, who had a weapon. And he had it drawn for what we've seen. But even if he didn't have it drawn, he could have just simply let him know, look, we are armed. We just want to talk to you. We have weapons. We're armed. Leave the shotty in the car or stay in the car. But don't get out the car with the shotty and think that it's not going to go down. No, you had intent. No. The dispatcher, for one, the dispatchers, I don't know if they're cops. I think that they are. But the dispatcher can tell you something in order for a situation not to escalate. The dispatcher can do that. They can tell George Zimmerman, do not follow that person because what? The police are on their way. The dispatcher can do that. They didn't order George Zimmerman not to follow him. They just said, look, don't follow him. Because why? This can happen. The dispatcher was right. Don't follow him, just let him go. What's the description is what they usually ask you. What do they look like? What do they have on? What street are they on? George Zimmerman had all of this information. That's it. You suspect Trayvon Martin of committing a crime. You're seeing a man walk down the street. He's not hiding. He has a gray hoodie on. He has a pair of blue jeans on. He has on some Nike shoes. I don't know if he did or didn't. He has all this on, and he's walking down on 4th and James, which I don't even know if that's the street he was on. But nonetheless, that's it, and that's all. You're behind him some distance. He's walking. He sees you. Boom. That's it. You don't get out the car. No issue. Police pull up, ask Zimmerman a couple questions. Boom. It's done. You had intent. You got your ass whooped and you shot the boy. I still listen. George Zimmerman shouldn't have shot Trayvon Martin just because you were losing a fight. No, that's just not how it goes. You provoke somebody and they beat your ass, you got your ass whooped. That's how it goes. That's right. That's what I'm saying. This is not an isolated case. This is something that keeps happening over and over and over and over again. And when somebody says I'm being racist, they can never bring me an example where this happened on the other side. They can never bring me an example where especially in our day and age, where we have the media covering everything, especially when it comes to black and white people. You can never bring me, you can't tell me when you've seen an instance of a black man gunning down a white person. Just gunning them straight down. Gun them straight down on a citizen's arrest. You may have blacks and whites getting into altercations, but where do you see a white person get shot by a black man? Where? Pull it up. Leave me a link. I want to know because I'll look at it. And then show me where this is happening consistently. And not only that, frequently. Because this is frequent. This is frequent. And unless you put a stop to this, there are going to be some dead people coming up here pretty soon. Because, listen, people are tired of the penal system not protecting them. They're tired of that. Remember when the white dude, what has happened last year? The white dude beat the hell out of this black woman. And he was armed. And he's punching this black woman in the face. Remember that video? It's on World Star Hip Hop. He's beating the hell out of this lady. For what reason, we don't know. He's punching her all in her face and everything. And he has a gun on him, Yeah, I don't know what kind of gun, but he has a gun on him. So he's just like, yeah, boom. You did that. You walked away. The whole thing's on camera. So what? What are you going to do about it? We'll turn around a couple days later. A black guy walks up to a random white woman, doesn't know it. He's just standing there like this. And he waits till the lady turns around and clocks her. Where do you think he got that kind of anger from? You think he just felt like beating up a white woman he didn't know who's done completely nothing to him? No. He saw what happened to somebody who looked like him, a female. He saw that. He saw how that female was getting her behind whooped, getting hit in the face, and there was nothing that he could do about it. There was no black man there to protect her. And then he saw the white dude pull a gun out on her. And that just, listen, not everybody is going to think rationally. He was just like, y'all going to do this to my people? He don't know that woman. I'm going to do it to your people. And this is what you're going to have. Let me read some more of your... which people are. Well, I think that's going to happen soon. The people in prison for weed, because they're legalizing it, that they're going to let people out. And I think they've already started letting people out. Right, let me get testified on the first day of the jury trial. That is dispatcher policy not to give orders. We're directly liable if we can. Listen, once again with the dispatcher, I said that the dispatcher didn't give him orders. The dispatcher was telling you, we have the information on this person that you gave us. We know who this person or where this person is. We know what they look like. We have a description that you gave us. We are on our way. You called us. So if the dispatcher tells you don't engage with them, they're not giving you an order as in you need to follow their order. They're telling you what's a best scenario. Just, see what they're doing until somebody of authority gets there and handles the situation. That's what I'm saying. We always try to give general basics, not. Oh, you must be a dispatcher, not command. Just, and thank you for being a dispatcher. Just suggestions. So we don't need you to do that. It's different than more direct. Don't do that. Well, like I said, if I'm on the phone with a dispatcher, if I call the police and I'm on the phone with the dispatcher and the dispatcher tells me, they give me a suggestion, I am all ears, because I don't think that dispatcher is leading me into trouble. I think that dispatcher is leading me out of trouble. I think that the dispatcher is trying to respond in a way where the situation will either de-escalate or will not escalate. That's what I think. Because I'm not a police officer. I'm not a lawyer. You are the first contact between the citizen and the police officer. You take phone calls all day. You know more about the law than the average citizen. You know more about what the police are going to do than the average citizen. Okay, there is a story. There's a story about these white people who went out to one of these jungles, Amazon or whatever, and the people in the village were sick. They were sick, and they didn't know what was wrong with them, and they needed a doctor. And they asked any of the white people, like, are any of you doctors? And one guy said, I studied anatomy once. Well, you're the resident doctor now. They didn't have a degree in being a doctor. They weren't an MD. They looked at a book once on anatomy. It's like, I studied anatomy once. Well, guess what? You know more information about the body than any one of us. You are now the resident doctor. Help these people the best that you can. That's who the dispatcher is. The dispatcher is the link between society and the police force. They are the first contact. They don't have to be the police. They know more about the law than the average citizen does. So if they say something, guess what? It is almost as good as law to somebody who is trying to get out of trouble. The dispatcher says, look, get away from there. Don't go near there, or do this or do that. Well, guess what? That's good enough for me. I don't think you're going to lead me into trouble. Hey, you're the cops until the cops get here. I got you on the phone, and the dispatchers try to keep you on the phone. You are the police until the police show up. That's just that. This is from the Trayvon trial. Yeah. This is true. Nobody should be in jail for smoking weed. You should be in jail for the intent to distribute in large quantities. But now you got dispensers. Listen. I'm gonna tell you what I think about weed. I don't smoke weed, but I think that people should be in jail when it comes to weed. I think for tax evasion. That's if I was a lawyer or if I was a lawmaker, I'd be like, we're not going to put you in jail because you smoke weed. It doesn't seem to be harmful. However, if you're selling it and you're obviously doing well and you're selling it and we're not getting our tax revenue from it, well, that's tax evasion. That's how they caught Capone. They got him for tax evasion. So, yeah. So set up a shop and do it the legal way. And I think, people should be able to smoke and, sell weed. Yeah, they should be set free. Okay, I need the link to that. Sorry, I got to blow my nose. Once again, when did intent start? When did intent start? When you found out it was a black man, did intent start? Because you shot him 3 times. Unnecessary. It was unnecessary to shoot him once. This is a recent case of a black man sniping 2 old people, sniping them. Yeah, that's how they get. Oh, yeah, that's how they got Capone, tax evasion. I did not agree with you. I didn't partake, but I like dealing with high people, drunk people. Way safer to deal with. That's true. High people really, their modus operandi is what to eat. I can't see this link. But yeah, like I said, the frequency has gone up of citizens arrest shooting black people. And it's gone up to a fever pitch. Listen, there are 40 million of us. There are 40 million black people, and there's a bunch of people who sympathize with black people. There's 240 million white people, but not all of those white people are in accordance with, this type of behavior. So what it's coming down to is you're going to have you have a nation divided. That's what it's coming down to. It's not the blacks against the white. It's the it's the people taking sides on. Some of it is racial, but some of it is just humane. It's the humane versus the inhumane. You can't just gun down somebody in the street like a dog. You can't load up your guns and just, you can't do that. You just can't. And think that there's not going to be a retaliatorial situation that is soon to come up. You're going to find someone who, in this day especially, who is just angry enough to just go and gun down someone simply because of what they saw, and they don't have the facts. We do know that Arbery was not armed. We do know that it's two men against one. Fight the man if he fights with you. You bring the gun out so he goes after the gun. You didn't have to bring the gun out if you wanted to talk. Yeah, you have the right to carry a gun. Leave the gun in the car. Why even get out of the car? Why? Why get in the man's way? You want to talk to him, drive beside him and talk to him. People do that all the time. You got words for him? You got the father in the back of the cab. Drive alongside of him and say what you're going to say to him. He obviously isn't trying to, run through the bushes or whatever. He's running on the road. Why get out the car with the gun in hand and expect this not to escalate to murder? I don't think they expected nothing. What did you expect? What did you expect? Oh, people carry guns all the time and they don't go and shoot them. They don't carry guns and then go start something with somebody. You don't carry a gun, you and your family member, and then see one person who's unarmed and then go and then block his direction and start a confrontation with him and expect this not to escalate to a high level. No, you don't do that, man. Get out of here. You don't do that. Thank you. Yeah, and I'm betting the story's not going to fit too. Look, look, what I'm talking about is specific. Look, black people will shoot a white person in a heartbeat if it's a certain scenario. But I'm talking about the whole citizens arrest thing. We've seen this over and over again. We've seen it over and over. Look, we live next to each other. We have confrontations. You know what I'm saying? But this whole, acting like a police. Look, there's a guy in my neighborhood. Let me tell you something. There's a guy in my neighborhood. Yeah, it's humane versus inhumane. And humane doesn't have a color. It is a black and white issue because you're seeing more white people do this to black people. But then you got the white people going, is this humane or inhumane? And you're going, it's just inhumane for you to shoot this guy 3 times. It's inhumane for you to get out the car with the shotgun in the hand and expect this kid not to, do something. I mean, it's unfathomable for you to completely escalate a situation and expect the person not to escalate with you. This person is completely in fear of their life. They live 10 miles from here. They're not running anywhere. You're following them. He can't shake you. It's broad daylight. Like I said, he had nowhere to go. This kid wasn't going to shake them. Or this man, excuse me. He wasn't gonna outrun that Ford and two gunmen. You're following him. He's not, I'm not, I can't outrun you. I'm not, even if I cut across the yard, I'm not going to, I live 10 miles from here. No, come on now. He's not going to shake you. And I'm betting 10-1 that the McMichaels didn't have kind words for him. I'm betting 10-1 they did. I bet they didn't roll up to him like, hey, there's been some thefts in the area. Got you on camera going into this house that has nothing in it. And we want to know, we just want to talk to you. Under the authority of citizens arrest. If you just wanted to talk to the man, you could have just drove and talked to the man. He would have probably stopped walking or stopped jogging and talked to you. But if he doesn't want to talk to you, you do not have the right to block this man's way. Matter of fact, the last time I heard, when you're blocking somebody from, going on about their way, I think that's called kidnapping. That's kidnapping, isn't it? You don't have the right to kidnap this person. You do when you have nowhere else to go. Yes, you will. Yes, you will. If you think that you can get to that gun and stop this person from raising that gun up and pointing it at you, and you can close that gap, oh, yes, you will. Yeah, you will. Listen, if you think that there's no way out of this, you have been followed by these armed men. And like I said, we don't know the conversation, but we know why they're following you. And you're scared. You're scared. We're not talking about somebody being rational. This is not people sitting down and having tea and crumpets. This is two men with guns who are not your color, okay? Who think that you stole something, who have already followed you and have already blocked your way more than once. They're not letting you go. These people are not letting you. They made it very clear, you're not going anywhere. And this is not one vehicle following you. This is two. You're not going anywhere. And then they're standing in the middle of the street in front of you with a shotgun? Yeah. You're gonna do. Listen. I'm gonna tell you something. I don't even think Arbery knew that the dad had a revolver or whatever that was he pulled out. I don't think he knew that. I think Arbery was like, you guys not going to let me go. You're standing in the street in my direction. You stopped me once. Now you're stopping me again, but now you're out of the car with the weapon. First time you were driving beside me. Now you're out of the car. So this is escalated. You're not out of the car without a weapon. You're out of the car with a weapon. Oh, it's going down. It's going down. It's all bad. It's all bad. I can't go nowhere. I can't outrun you. So what am I going to do? I see that you have a shotgun. If I can get to this gun and get it away from you, I'm going to take my chances. And that's what he did. Sir, I'm firearm instructor, and know that 2 with guns wins when I rush 1. This isn't the movie. Yeah. But like I said, I don't think that he knew that the other one had a gun. I mean, just think about that. There are 2 of you with guns. I'm going to rush 1 of you. I'm still going to get shot. I don't think he knew. Either you allow them to shoot you where you stand, run and allow them to shoot you, Trayvon Martin, or you defend yourself, and that's it, and that's all. But it shouldn't even got to that level. Since he recognized the cop, he decided that he wasn't going to jail. His intent was to kill them. Well, what do you think their intent was? You're trying to make this man out to be like he's just some killer. Like this situation has escalated to an epic level. And you're expecting this person to play tiddlywinks. Ever play tiddlywinks? Nothing to do with murder. I'm just saying, oh, his intent was to kill. Like, you damn right. His intent was to me, his intent was to try to get the gun. I don't think his intent was to kill, but I wouldn't be mad if his intent was to kill. Yeah, like, how do you get this? I'm making, well, wait a minute. I'm making, wait a minute. I'm making a perfect citizen? Or what? I'm making this ex-cop. This ex-cop is a perfect citizen. I'm making him out to be a pig. He would have got shot in the back if he ran through the yards. How many times have we seen that? Once again, this is an ex-police officer with a sense of entitlement. He wasn't even arrested for 2 months until the video came out. Do you think for 1 second that cop, listen, the more you talk about the case, the more you clearly see that it was intent. This is murder one. This is murder one to me. This is murder one to me. This is murder one. This is a police officer. For one, it's a white police officer. And before you go off about white police, we're seeing white police kill black people every day now. We're seeing it every day. Every single day. I can't remember the last time a black police officer shot a white man. I just can't. Okay, fine. Judge and jury, got you. But this is just me talking on YouTube. It's just a conversation. Me talking to a bunch of people I don't know about a situation that's torn the nation apart again. And it's the same situation. It's just different people. It's the same results. And this is the same conversation that was had years ago. Has nothing to do with reality? You can't do that. Yeah, it has everything to do with it. I don't. Yeah, I don't. You can't say it has nothing to do with reality. You can't. It has everything to do with a tiger in a cage and what his only recourse is. It has everything to do with survivability. Yeah, it has everything to do with survivability. It has everything to do with it has everything to do with possible income outcomes. So to say that it's possible for him to get shot in the back if he would have ran the other, it's highly possible. It's possible because you're standing in the middle of the street with a shotgun, and your father is standing on the outside and on top of the cab with a gun in hand. It's highly possible if he would have turned around and ran, he would have got shot because you tracked him down twice. You was not letting this man go. It's highly possible that he could have got shot in the back. 100%. 100%. Yeah, you can't say that has nothing to do with reality. What you can say, what you can say is that if there are two people who surround one person with a gun, that there are different scenarios that can possibly come out of this, but you can't leave one very viable scenario out of it. You can say there could have been a conversation that was had, and that was it. You could say the police showed up on the scene and calmed everything down, and that was that. You could say this person was scared and was followed, and then he attacked the person who had a shotgun who was standing in the middle of the street, and then he died, which is actually what happened. And you could say he turned around and ran the other way through a yard, and nothing happened. But these people were pursuing him kind of heavy, so he knew he wasn't getting anywhere. So he decided to do the only thing that came to mind was, if I can get this gun away from you, then I'll survive. Yeah, that's what you can say. Well, okay, here you go again. Here you go again. Then they had no intent of firing Arbery. They were shocked when he hit. Oh, okay, so let me read this whole thing. Gregory Michaels, who was standing in the truck bed, wasn't even ready to fire the gun. Okay, so I'm not sure. I ain't gonna read the rest. I ain't gonna read the rest now. I'm not sure what video you saw, but Greg McMichaels, who was standing in the truck bed, had his gun drawn in hand. So when is it where he was or was not ready to fire? He has gun drawn in hand in the video. Gun drawn in hand. Boom, gun drawn. Gun drawn. Pulls out the gun, drawn. When Arbery attacks, boom, gun drawn. So not only that, your son is standing in the street. Your son's standing in the street with a weapon in hand, which is completely unnecessary because Arbery doesn't have a weapon. It's completely unnecessary. This guy is junkie. He does not have a weapon. You know he doesn't have a weapon. Okay, so no, let me pick this apart. You know he doesn't have a weapon. You're standing in the street with the weapon. Your son is in the street with the weapon. Your grown son in the street with the weapon. This kid attacks you. Whether you're surprised or not, you, the dad, then, okay, we'll just say he drew his weapon. He draws his weapon, right? He gets ready to aim and shoot. Tell me something. When Arbery attacked, why didn't you just get out the truck and just go help your son, who you knew didn't have a weapon? Why couldn't you just jump out the truck, go over there, get with it? Why did you guys even draw weapons on him? Why even get out the truck? You drew a weapon on somebody who didn't have a weapon. You have the unfair advantage. There's more than one of you, and you both have weapons. You have the unfair advantage. Whether you're surprised that he attacked you or not, you both have weapons. He has none. He's by himself. There are two of you. This is murder, and that's just it. It's murder, let alone the firepower. They have the upper hand in every situation. They couldn't get it on. They couldn't get it on in the street. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you something. If the McMichaels who blamed the man for it, they don't even know what he did. He was a suspect. They didn't get him for something he did. He was a suspect. So you roll up on a suspect, right? You're 2-man deep, 2 grown man deep, right? Boom. You get out the car, no weapon in hand, and you cross the street or go over to, yo, bro, we just want to talk to you. That is more sensible to me than anything. Yo, can we talk? If you have to get out the car, because I wouldn't have got out the car. I would have just videotaped and let the cops show up. But that's just me. But you got 2 guns and there's 2 of you, so you going to stop the man more than once and get out the car. Because you know you have the upper hand. No, my G, get out of here with that. You knew you had the upper, and they're going to blame the man because he attacked you. You damn right he attacked you. Get out of here. If these two guys are God-fearing, nah, if there was God-fearing, they would have let the police do their job and they would have just videotaped the man. That's what they would have done. But and not only that, you're gonna wimp out. You're gonna wimp out and attack the man with guns. You're gonna whip out. Nah, if you two are about that life, this man's jogging on the street, get out and face him like a man. Like, yo, this is a situation. And if we got to throw hands, we going to throw them hands today. But you up in this area, and there's been all kind of thefts happening, and we just want to talk to you, big homie, and that's just it. Can we talk to you for a minute? And either a conversation would have happened or it wouldn't. But you knew he didn't want to talk to you because you already tried to stop him once, and he turned around and went the other direction. These guys had pure intent to kill, and that's exactly what happened. I don't care. You stood in front of a man with a gun in your hand. I don't care. But his son was. No, man, you draw a gun on me, that's all I see. How do I explain? Okay. How do you know he didn't? How do I know he didn't what? Oh, how I knew that Arbery didn't know about McMichael's, the father's gun? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so this is my reasonability to it. Arbery is running on one side of the street, then he changes sides of the street, right? The father, the truck is already stopped. Doors open. The son is in the street with the gun. So they're already ahead of him, right? He was looking for something to steal, really. Broad daylight, in the middle of the street. Okay. So Arbery crosses behind the truck, and when he sees, now he already sees McMichael when he crosses over and he gets into the line of sight. When he could see McMichael's, when he gets in front of the truck, he sees McMichael with the gun, right? When he sees him with the gun, he goes in for the gun, right? Right. To me, I'm jogging down the street. I try to get I go to the other side because I know you're standing here. So listen, he didn't cross to the back of the truck and to the other side just because he had nothing to do. He was trying to get away from the son. Listen, if you look at the video, I think that whole lane is open. But the son is standing there in front of the truck on the driver's side. He can see him. So he goes in the, I'm trying to tell you this, he was being tactical, is what he was doing. He could see him and he could see the father, right? He could see the father, right? So he goes around and then he attacks the son. And when he attacks his son, he goes straight for the gun. I don't think he knew that the father had a gun. Because in my mind, if I'm going to go around and use my speed and then use the truck to almost blindside you, because if I'm coming straight on, you're going to raise the gun, boom, that's it for me. But if I go around this truck and it come at you he's being tactical and come at you like this, you're not going to have time to turn around and boom, shoot me. And I think that's what his whole rationale is. But I don't think he knew that the father had a gun too, or that whole movement would have been for not unless he was staying in front of the truck where the father couldn't shoot him there. But that wasn't what happened. The truck is here, McMichaels is here. So him swinging around this way, he's still in the line of sight of the father. I don't think he knew that the father had a gun. This is just my rationale. I agree with you, bro. They should have just followed him. Jogging is silly. He was looking for something to steal. Prove your case. It was a bad idea to try to stop him, exactly as they didn't know his mental state. They thought he would stop if people pointed guns at him. When you point guns at somebody, be ready for anything. Now, how you know that Arbery was unarmed, and how are they supposed to? That's actually a good question. All right. So I've been talking for 3 hours. All right, so how do I know that Arbery? I don't know. That's the answer to that. But I'm trying to take every scenario and I'm trying to dissect it from the film that I saw. So let's do this. We're in the eyes of the McMichaels. Dad is in the truck, back of the truck. Son is driving, right? I don't think that when they loaded up to go look for him, I don't think that both of them were in the cab of the truck. I don't think they did that. I think they both loaded up to go look for him. They grabbed their guns. Boom. One jumped into the driver's seat. The other one jumped into the cab, just like we saw it, right? Plus, they knew where he was because the neighbor was filming, and the neighbor was the first one to say, hey, get away from there. Then the neighbor started following, and the neighbor's the one who shot the video. Okay, so this we do know. Now, this we do know. So we know that they are in communique with the neighbor. We do know this. We know this. Now, we can start speculating if the so let's go back. The neighbor contacts the McMichaels. The McMichaels contact the police. When they contact the police, do they say that he has a gun? Because the police want to know this. Go back to Mr. Dispatcher. How often do the police ask if they have a gun? Okay, they both start inside the truck. Thank you for correcting me. But like I said, I didn't run yards like it. It made no sense. No, it does. He had declared war. Let me see what you have. So, this was God was crazy. Okay, so anyways, so all right, so they both jump into the cab. They both start, but even before that, they were in communique with the neighbor. Am I right or am I wrong? They saw the kid in the house. The neighbor said, get out of the house. The kid starts running. The neighbor was in communique with the McMichaels, right? They were in communique with the McMichaels, right? They had to be because they went out and started looking for him. Boom. So they go on, but before they go out and start looking for him, they grab their guns. They grabbed their guns, right? They called the dispatcher. Now, when they called the dispatcher, They give a description or whatever. I didn't hear what they said, but we know that the police dispatcher is going to ask, what does he look like? They're going to get as much information because they don't want that police officer walking into a situation unprepared. So they want to know what he looks like, what he has on, what's his location, and they want to know the threat level. Does he have a weapon? Do you think he has a weapon or anything like that? Now, I don't know if this was asked, but I know it's a common practice for them to ask such a thing. Right? Am I right? Mr. Dispatcher, do they or do they not ask that question? We think the guy, you think he committed a crime. They want to know, is he armed? I'm betting 10-1. My piggy bank. I got a couple quarters in here. I'm betting 10-1 the McMichaels knew he was not armed. And that's going to come out. And that's going to be the caveat. Let me answer some of these. You have seen Danita. No. I don't want to answer him right now. Let's see, anybody else? No. Sorry, I just had to answer this real quick. Is this available? Yes, it is available. Sorry. My business is nonstop. Okay. All right. Okay. How is the neighbor to know if he had a gun? I carry concealed daily, and no. I carry concealed daily, and is that people don't know that I have. Let me ask you something. You carry a concealed daily. You can carry that concealed into some cargo shorts, right? You can. How comfortable would you be running down the street with it? And if you had on some cargo pants, some cargo shorts, some shorts, and you were running down the street with it, how comfortable would you be running down the street with your cargo shorts and your weapon? This is a legitimate question. This is not sarcasm. Because this could actually be something that a lawyer would look at and go, you know what? He could have been armed. Now, of course, they know by now if he was or wasn't armed. Because he's dead. So, the coroner, or just not the coroner, but the police can say he wasn't armed. What do you know this question or know this answer? Was he or was he not armed? But the question is, how can the McMichaels know if he wasn't armed? Now, I already went over the fact that there was a gun stolen. So, possible that you could think there's a man jogging down the street broad daylight who has a gun. I'm just thinking, when the neighbor got in touch with the McMichaels, do you think that there's a man running down the street, broad daylight, down the middle of the street, or down the side of the street? Do you think that they thought that he had a gun? Do you think that's why the McMichaels grabbed their weapons and rode out? Because if you do, and if that was you, you're like, you know what? Let me get my gun because this person has a gun, or let me ride out and try to talk to this individual, gun or not. But if they think they have a gun, he has a gun, then that escalates the whole situation. Look, they shouldn't have never. They just like Zimmerman, you should have just left them alone. You should have let the police. They were not even far away. You called the police on purpose. It just incenses me that there's even an argument here. because and I'm not upset at you guys, but this is what they do in court, and they skew everything, and then people like Zimmerman get away with murder when they should never have engaged. It just I just can't believe you can engage someone and there's an argument whether you shooting this man 3 times is right or not. Like, this is what makes people just go off the rails. How can this even be close to being right? How is it possible that there is an argument for these people? How? The stand your ground law, the stand your ground law, listen, the stand your ground law is made if your life is being threatened. Understand? So you're being threatened. Your life is being threatened. You think that you're going to lose your life. Arbery attacks you with the gun. You have the gun. He does not have, when he attacks you, he does not attack you with the gun. He attacks you. He attacks your gun, actually. He reaches for your gun. That's what he does. So whoever gets the gun loses their life. Okay, fine. You could think that all you want, but the original contact should not have been made by you. That should have been the police, a job for the police. You are not the cops. I was asking a question, wasn't I, before I went off the rail? There was something stolen that day. What was the something stolen? Yeah, the life. Yeah, his life. That's true. A rhetorical question. My race is not getting in the way of the law. My hunger is getting in the way of the law. Yeah, somebody tries to take your gun, but why are you confronting them with a gun? Who are you to confront somebody with a gun? You're going to go out and confront somebody who you assumed stole something. Listen, this whole thing was because there has been thefts in the area. And then there's a black man that shows up walking into an unfinished house. And all of a sudden, this is the person who's stealing. Broad daylight. Who's walked into this unfinished house several times. And, oh, there's a black man. He walked into this unfinished house and stole absolutely nothing. Let's go question this guy and let's stop him and shoot and kill him. I hope the McMichaels die a horrible death. I do. Because I just don't think that, and people can say what they want about that, but I don't care. You shot that man 3 times. You meant to shoot that kid. You meant it. Your entitlement and your race got in your way. And I try to dissect this 6 ways from Sunday, but there's still, in my head, no reason at all for you to stop this kid and get in his way. Or this man, excuse me, he's 20-something. There's follow him. You call the police. I say it again and again and again. Once you initiated that 911 call, and your job as a citizen is, if you're trying to help make a citizen's arrest, you follow that person. If you think that person has a gun, you don't escalate that situation. That's not your job. Your job is not to escalate the situation because you think that they have a gun. That's not your job to go and start shooting people. As a citizen, that is not your job whatsoever. Your job is to help that person be apprehended, not murdered. In order to do that, You already know the police are coming. The police, the dispatcher's on the phone with you. They're asking you specific information. Your job is to tell them that specific information. This kid is clearly not trying to get away with anything if you're running straight down the street. This kid's not trying to get away with anything. They ain't trying to get away. Where are you trying to get away from? Where? It's broad daylight. You're running down the middle of the street. Nah, this is murder. That's it. Okay, you have a degree in computer science. You read very well. All right, well, I have a degree in health administration. I read very well. I'm talking to 7, 8 different people at one time. And I've been talking for the last 3 hours and 30 minutes. My eyes are a little tired from talking and answering all of your questions. I read very well, thank you. You guys have a great day.